Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GameStone Quick Hot Fix. I hope everyone has recovered from awesome GameStone Quick. I personally am still working on that part, but my name is Smooth Operative, and today we are premiering a brand new show called Time Capsule. So, thank you so much for joining us for this very first episode. Time Capsule is all about exploring 1 year in gaming and showing off games that were popular or influential at the time of their release. So today we are going to dust off the PCs, dust off the consoles, and travel back to the year 1996 with speedruns of Quake, Nights into Dreams, Resident Evil, and later Crash Bandicoot. But before we get into all the speedruns, just a quick reminder that Frame Fatale's submissions close tonight at midnight Pacific. So if you are a female speedrunner that might be interested in participating in that marathon, more information can be found at www.gamesdonequick.com/framefatales. Joining me right now is GDQ veteran Cool Kid, who is going to kick us off with a speedrun of Quake. Cool Kid, are you ready?
I am ready.
He's ready. So whenever you would like me to start the timer, I will start it.
Okay. So let's go. Let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And you're off.
Okay, I forgot to start my own timer too. Okay, good. All right. Ooh, all right. Quake. Oh, once again, I just like to thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Absolutely. We couldn't have a show like this and not include Quake, Speed Demos Archive history right here. So thank you for agreeing to do this, Cool Kid.
Yeah, so I've already beat the first level. So Quake, it's a very fast-paced game. I'll be utilizing a technique called bunny jumping throughout most of the game. Well, I'll combine strafe jumping, which makes me go faster, and then I chain the strafe jumps by just jumping as soon as I land, which maintains the speed I get from strafe jumping. So I was doing that throughout the entire game, just jumping, just quick guy saying "huh" for 15 minutes, or however long it's gonna take.
Uh-huh.
All right, but now, so I'm playing. You can play. There are 4 episodes. You can play them in any order. But I'm playing the first episode right now, and once you've beaten an episode, you lose all your equipment. So yeah, it doesn't matter which order you play them in. But I just got the grenade launcher, and I did a little grenade boost there after picking up the gold key. Also a very, uh, very well-known technique from Quake games: to damage boosting, grenade boosting, rocket boosting. But yeah, Quake. I started. Well, I had to look. I had to go to the Speed Demos archive forum to see when I started running this game, and apparently, I started running it 2012. I made a forum post asking how you recorded. Oh, no, how you recorded a demo in this game, because that was the primary way of sort of recording your runs back then. Well, not quite in 2012, but at least back in this game's back when it got released in 1996. And I believe that's why I started the game. I wasn't around back then. I mean, I'm born in the early 90s, so this game is sort of before my time, but I that's what people did back in the day. They shared demo files, and interestingly enough, this game was okay. I'm gonna boost in the corner. See, I'm shooting my weapon. Okay, let's go around. That guy is mad. I'm shooting my weapon before I do. Oh, okay, let's start over. See, I'm shooting my weapon every time I boost before I do a grenade boost, and I used to set up a buffer for the timing. Okay, that's much better. Okay. So if you shoot a grenade onto an enemy, the grenade will explode instantly, which helps a lot with boosts.
So do you think that you have a little bit more control over the timing of the boost because you can initiate it whenever you want?
uh, Sorry if I'm not talking much. I haven't. haven't played this game in a while. I'm trying to just
I
focus. This
kind
is
I
this is a really hard run.
I kind of surprised Cool Kid. I was like, "Hey, so we're doing this, and we'd really like it if you would run Quake for us." So I think he's just hasn't played it in a little while, but I think you're doing just fine.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it. But yeah, this I really enjoyed this run again. This is one of the my earlier sort of first speed games that I picked up. Oh, it's very important I shoot both because if I don't shoot both, the game will crash if I try to jump through, only shoot one. But yeah, I've always really liked this game. This is one of the first speed runs I saw too. I remember seeing I think it was a Super Mario Bros. Speed run, and then the Super Mario Bros. Run had a link to Speedrunner's archive, and then I went to Speedrunner's archive and I saw the Quake stuff, and I thought it was really cool.
It's my
Yeah,
understanding too that Quake was one of the first 3D, like fully 3D games to be made, or at least utilizing this kind of technology. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah. Doom was. I think I don't know much about Doom speedrunning, but I know that also sort of uses. It's quite popular back in the day. You had demo recording and such. But Quake is really where I feel like it's, well, at least to my knowledge, things starting to get more popular with speedrunning. Um, so I haven't, well, yeah, one thing, um, actually, did I mention this? Oh man, I'm so forgetful. I'm just playing the game and forget if I said things or not, but
I
this
think
game
it
was
might be very
released.
early for you, so it's okay.
This game was released, oh, this guy get out of the way. One day before Super Mario 64. This thought is pretty interesting. Like two very influential games. This being sort of
I want to
the
say it was
birth of
June, sometime in June.
one of the most influential 3D platformers of all time. And then you got this, which ended up being a really big multiplayer game, Quake. But hey, the single player is great too.
I was told that Quake could support up to 32 players in multiplayer mode. While I have no experience with that, that's kind of a lot of people.
32 players, yeah, that'd be chaotic. Here's quite important. So I haven't used any quick saves yet. You can quick save and quick load in this game. I might wanna. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if I get this. I have time. I have time too if I fail this. Okay, made it. But yeah, so the way people play this game, well, still play this game, is that so okay, you can't quick save and quick load, but for most runs, you aren't allowed to quick save and quick load in a level. It would in the oh that guy wrecked me. It would invalidate your run compared to I mean nowadays. Quick save. If you can quick save in a run, a piece of run, you quick save all over the place because it's such a helpful it helps a lot, with retries, fast retries for tricks. Okay, that guy got me good.
Does the quick
Um,
save and quick load affect like can you do like damage cancels with it or
so the way it works, I think the way they disallowed it initially is because so the way people shared runs of this was through demos. But if you save the game and save the game, then load the game, you break the demo file, it stops recording. So I think that's why initially, sort of, that was. Oh, I gotta get in there. That's a
that
no-no.
was, that was like the restrictions placed on the demos at the time?
Yeah. So that sort of became a thing. That's still a thing. Like we have a category called like single segments. Actually, I think you don't have to complete the game in a single segment, meaning no depths, no loading and saves. But I think that's sort of the style that people prefer this game. And I don't really know many other like PC runs nowadays where that's a thing at least where your yeah community sort of frowns upon using the quick load or quick save function.
Well,
But
that's fair. Every
yeah,
community has rules.
yeah, yeah. So this was episode 2. So I'm collecting a rune at the end of each episode. So a little early on that boost. I have to collect 4 runes before I unlock the final boss. But yeah, this run has changed a lot. So back when I started running, I remember the first time I got the record. Well, actually, doing full game runs, just playing the game from start to finish, was actually quite uncommon. It was not a popular way of playing the game at all. Um, but it's a thing that became popular with streaming. So the record used to be 13:46 in game time. We timed runs using in-game time for this game. But so that was the record. That was set at, let's see here, I think it was 2006. It was important that I get this grenade boost. Hold on, see. There we go. There's an invisible trigger that I jumped over that would normally bring down the silver key, but so it'll pick it up. But yeah. So 2006. Again, a guy named Connor. I don't remember his last name, but Connor. Yeah, he set a time of 13:46 in game time, and then in late 2012, was it early 2013? I don't recall. I beat his time with an in-game time of 13:37. So that's sort of, I remember being really, really hype about that back in the day. But nowadays, the record is almost 2 minutes faster. I think it's 11:47 by Jukebox, really good Quake runner.
Oh wow,
I,
okay, cool.
yeah, I cannot quite fathom how fast it is, how it brought the time that low. See, it's a cool water boost. Oh, I didn't quite get it. These fish are really annoying. Pretty specific setup for this. Okay, cool. Oh no. Okay, let me restart.
No
Typically,
worries.
if I were to restart, I'd restart the entire run. I mean, because it's pretty rough, but again, it's a pretty short run. It's just that I'm a little rusted, to say the least, but this is fun. It's fun being on playing this game. Oh, supposed to get up, go up there. So I'm supposed to hit the button to there's sort of like you're supposed to just go all the way around, hit buttons, but simple grenade jump, rocket jump. Go through. So yeah, someone might have noticed I'm not playing this on the original version of the game. I'm playing this on a sort of speedrun version called Joe Quake. Joe as in average Joe Quake. Oh, some flashing lights, strobing lights here, by the way. It's quite unpleasant. But yeah, it doesn't change the physics of the game. It just adds some features. It adds the like the speed meter. I can see how fast I'm going. And see what else does it add? I'm sure it adds a lot of things that I've forgot that are not a part of the vanilla game. But it's
Quality of life changes.
yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, what's interesting is that so demo files is like the primary way of primary way of recording your runs back in the day. But due to a bug in the game, you're not able to record a demo file through more than one level, meaning it was impossible to record a full game run, just a demo file. So people had to make mods and improvements to the game in order to be able to record demos for the full game. So that's sort of just what the mods do. They make it easier to record demos and stuff like that. Oh yeah, there's only one more episode to go. There's a big skip here. Fortunately, didn't get it. Usually when I play runs, or used to at least, I'd play episode 4 first because of this level. The air strafe at the very start is quite tricky. And if you don't get it, I'm trying to think how much time you lose. I usually get what's the time I get?
Right now?
No, on this, how I just talked, never mind. But yeah, I guess I lose like 7 seconds. Oh well. Anyway, but what's really cool about this game is that the individual levels there's still active runners of this game. In fact, Jukebox set a new world record for the full game less than a month ago. But there are also individual level records being set. Still, it's an active Quake community. Okay, I'm gonna attempt this jump without saving. This might be bad. get this jump, you skip the silver key. Okay. I made it. Cool.
Nice.
Okay, doing that slope jump at the start skips half of the level. Very easy jump. If you jump going up a slope, you gain height. If you jump going down a slope, you gain forward speed instead. So doing a little grenade boost, trying to maintain most of my speed. But what's interesting too about the individual level runs, so again, I definitely recommend, well, people are interested in this game to check out the Quake section at SpeedM's archive, because there are a lot of just, I don't know, goodies like old interviews and whatnot. And they used to at least have a page with like times that were deemed impossible to beat, individual levels. So they deemed, so the first level in the game, the record for that was 20 seconds, which they thought was, I mean, that was the perfect time. There's no way anyone's going to beat that. But then 17 years later, actually last year, someone actually did end up beating that time, which was, I thought that was really cool. So the record used to be 20 seconds first level, now it's 19 seconds. So it's
Oh,
kind of
that
cool,
is
just, yeah. Speedrunning it truly has evolved, even for a game like Quake, which...
I think just like the progress that, you know, recording the run itself has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, back what they used to do back in the days, I'm not supposed to rocket jump there, oops. They would do full game runs, but they quaked on quick runs, which are very sort of, they're pretty big, pretty famous, is that they used to they played one level each. And wait, hold on, the run is ending soon.
Sure, just let
Actually, I
me
don't
know.
know where I was going with that. Never mind. I had something in mind, but I was like, I'm not, well, whatever. Let's go towards the end. I'm going to collect the fourth and final rune here. The game is not done quite yet. There's one
Sure.
final boss.
I think the two of us are still actually very much recovering from AGDQ.
It's cool. So this final boss, there's only one way to defeat it, and that is by telefragging it. I have to, well, yeah, it's a technique known as telefragging. I have to enter a teleporter just as this sort of object, which dictates where I end up when I go inside a teleporter, ends up inside of this big guy. And as soon as I enter the teleporter, it's when the run is done. All right, I did it in less than 20 minutes. Cool.
Okay, I did stop the timer, if that's alright.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. Nice. Yeah, you did it under 20 minutes. You still got it.
Still got it. Yeah. Well, it was fun. I mean, I don't. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. No, I
I'm a little tempted.
sincerely appreciate it that you took the time to run this for us.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me. Always, Quake's a lot of fun. So I don't want to get back into running Quake, but I've got so many other speed games I want to play too. It's
I Rocky and Bullwinkle would be
yes.
what I watched Cool Kid play earlier today, and I was wondering if he was going to show that off on accident.
Yeah, it's too
But
bad we're not covering the year of 1992 tonight, or else I would have, But
yeah,
96, great year.
yeah,
Quake.
1996, a great year for Quake, a great year for gaming. Thank you so much, Cool Kid. We have another game coming up, Nights into Dreams. So stay tuned, and we will get set up for our next run. Welcome back to the hotfix, everybody, to Time Capsule, the premiere episode. We are rolling right along with our next game, which is Nights into Dreams. And I have Soyo here with a few commentators, so if you'd like to introduce yourselves, everybody, go for it.
Howdy, I'm Shintak. I used to run this game for a long time. I started like in 2013.
I'm Soyo. I'll be running the game today. Just been running the game for the last 5 years or so, but I've been playing the game pretty much all my life, and it's my all-time favorite game, so I'm really happy to be here.
I am Dream Tora, and I am also a runner of this game. Been running it since 2015 or 2016, I guess. I've also been playing this game casually ever since I was a kid, so I am very happy to be here.
Yeah, we got the whole night's crew up in here, so
Yep.
Soya, whenever you would like me to start the timer, I will go ahead and do that.
Okay, timer's gonna start basically on me selecting this first level, so I'll do like a little mini countdown, and you can start it on go.
Sure thing.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
So yeah, this is Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn. For those who don't know, it is a Sonic Team game, and it's got that classic low polygon 3D thing going on that everyone loves so much. So basically the goal here is to collect 20 orbs. You'll see me do, and at this cage I'm passing by, that contains the Idea, which is what I need to proceed to the next part of the stage. So once I collect these 20 orbs, enter the cage, you can see that I gain that Idea. And then I will enter the gazebo here, and that's like completing a section. So there's basically 4 sections to each level, and then you face a boss afterward. So the game's mostly just about optimizing your movement and playing well.
Yeah, there's also those yellow and orange rings that Soyo goes through. Each of those refill your dash meter, which is called the drill attack. That's just the name they chose. And the orange ones refresh it by 1 second's worth of time, and the yellow refreshes it by 2. And then also there's like little enemies that can get in your way, but when you're doing the drill attack, you just dash right through them.
Yeah, they're normally not that big of an issue in terms of messing up your speed.
So like there's various icons in the game that do different things, but the main one that we want in the speedrun is the one that maxes out your drill attack gauge, so you can just go fast for a while, and except for 1 or 2 stages, you get it all the time.
Yeah, having extra boost really benefits you as far as facing off towards the bosses, or just being able to dash that much more to be that much faster.
Though certain bosses don't exactly require you to have a full boost or any kind of boost, but it is quite helpful with the ones that don't require a boost anyway.
So that was the first stage. We'll be going into the first boss here. Has a little trick to it. Hopefully I can pull off where you can kill him in 1 hit.
I believe in you.
Yeah, me too.
Here's hoping for the first try.
There we go.
There
So
it
yeah,
is.
that's a quick kill
Very
on
nice.
112 is typical for a time for that.
Yeah, you can get it as quick as with 115 on the clock, but that's very challenging to do.
Yeah, very few people can do that. Only one person I know of.
But yeah, this game was basically how I got into the Sega Saturn. Like back in like '98, I saw like some I don't know, commercial or video or something, and I went out, bought a Saturn for like $30, and I had to demo the game, and I played that game to death until I found a full copy, and just kind of was my only Saturn game for a very long time.
So we're heading into Mystic Forest, and Mystic Forest is kind of interesting in that there is one mare or lap, as we should call it, that you do backwards to save time, but otherwise, this level is pretty straightforward. This first mare, all you do is do like a couple laps and collect 20 orbs for this Idea.
Yeah,
You
like
should be good to go.
most of this is played the way you would just casually. Like this stage doesn't have a whole lot of tricks to it.
This also to note that this stage does have a boost gauge refiller, but we don't really know where it is, and it's not really needed anyway because the boss of this level doesn't really require it.
If I recall, near the end of the stage.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
You'll see he got
going through loops.
And you'll see he got caught by that enemy there. I forget the name of the enemy, but they will like drag you down, and all you have to do is kind of like just boost out of his grip.
Button mash out of it, yeah. This is the backward stage that Tora was talking about.
Yeah, this is the part where you go backwards. And the reason is it's much faster because there are exactly 20 orbs in this path. As opposed to if you went forward on this lap.
You have to do 2 laps to get enough orbs.
Funny enough, it's faster to finish backwards too.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, so the way that I got into Knights is kind of similar to Shentak's story. I basically didn't have a Saturn until kind of late into the game, but my dad brought home a stack of CDs, and those among those CDs were a bunch of sampler discs like PS1 demos, and one of those was Christmas Nights. So I was always kind of curious of what that game was. With
Park the car in the garage.
Yeah, get the car in the garage.
GG.
What that gesture was. And later, when having a Dreamcast and playing Sonic Adventure, I noticed the Knights pinball game. So that kind of got me even more interested, and I shortly after bought a Saturn off of eBay just with the sole intent of playing Knights on it, and got Knights, and the rest is history. Oops, went too far on that.
I was thinking, this game is definitely heavily reliant on like score attacking as like a means of replayability, and one of the things you can do is there's like a lot of the stages have like different Easter eggs and doodads that you can do to earn extra points, but it's just a joke in the speed run.
So Soyo messed it up a little here, but there is a strat to kill Gopo here very quickly. Gopo, when he is upside down, takes what is it? He takes a double hit. As opposed to
he takes a multiplicative amount of damage, and you can kill him as little as 3 hits if you keep hitting him while he's stunned. But it's really tight timing to get it
Yeah. Soyo just missed it, but
yeah.
I don't think this is going to be that bad of a Gopo.
That wasn't a very good Gopo, because basically if you hit him 3 consecutive times, you get the quick kill, but the timing for that is very sensitive. Typically, even if you miss it, you can get him in 2 consecutive hits, which still ends up with like a 90-second. So this was on the lower end. He just really wasn't cooperating with me tonight, but
yeah,
hopefully the other bosses go a little bit better.
A little bit of a tougher one to do quickly just because of the mechanic of getting multiple hits in.
Yeah. More to go wrong on that than most bosses anyway. Going into Soft Museum is the next level. This one's kind of unique. Basically because the first mare is done on foot, where typically you would collect all the orbs as knights. But in this case, it's just a little bit faster to do it on foot as a Claris.
Yeah, the routing for doing this on foot gets you a little over 20 orbs, so it works out perfectly. As you see, Soyo goes off to the side to pick up those orbs, and then there are some orbs hidden in this hill, which will put him at 16, and then these last 5 orbs will give him just the right amount.
Yeah, and there's actually like technique to moving on ground as well. It's like you have different ways of jumping to either gain more height or gain more horizontal speed. So you can move really, really fast if you can chain your jumps well.
Yeah, it's basically infinite speed if you time all your jumps to continue that quick jump trick. which can make for some pretty funny results if you're just testing it out. There is a boost icon here that we collect. It's kind of nice to have a lot of boost coming out of this particular stage because the boss is notoriously tricky.
Yeah, this is also the first stage where we do an auto-scroller skip. There's an auto-scroller in this stage that you're supposed to do, but we're going to do a super large paraloop to skip it so that we can just finish off the lap more quickly. But it can also be kind of tricky because it just involves manipulating the environment to cooperate. I think you got enough there.
Yeah, I did get it right
I
there.
think you have enough.
So if you just went a little bit farther to the right, he would have had to do an auto-scroller that's about like 20 or 30 seconds, if I recall.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yes, the music in this stage is really nice.
Yeah, it is.
But oh yeah, Soyo's using a controller called the 3D pad, which was made specifically for this game on the Saturn, and it has an analog thumb pad on it that's actually really comfortable to use. And if you try playing this on a D-pad, your thumb will be very sore very quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this, like, in my mind, it's still one of the best analog sticks to ever come out on any controller.
Yeah, it's so good.
I had read a very weird fact that when that controller was in development, one of the first people to use it was director Steven Spielberg. And
Oh,
that they
really?
started-
Really?
And then
Really?
they started referring to it as the Spielberg controller. So, and I'm assuming that's the one that shipped with the game that you're
Yes.
talking about.
Yeah, it did come
Yep.
in the box set.
funny facts.
That is really interesting.
And there's actually a decent chunk of games that made use of it.
Looks like Soyo's gonna get a pretty decent jackal here.
Yeah,
Yes.
not
Yeah,
the
that's
best.
pretty
possible.
solid.
That's not terrible.
So
That
like the
fight,
mechanic with Jackal is that while he has his cape on, he's invincible. But the moment that you knock him off his cape, you can deal damage. And ideally, you want to hit him vertically up and down so that you can just keep grabbing Jackal for damage.
yeah,
But,
that
yeah,
run-
something to mention is after each stage, Soyo does a soft reset to skip straight to the tile screen. Because normally after the stage, there's a score screen that tells you your score, and occasionally it gives you a hint, and those just waste a little bit of time.
yeah. So like, it's a minor optimization to soft reset. But you know, every little bit counts in a speedrun.
Yeah, and
So this is another level that you'll see Soyo doing on foot. Because once again, it's just much easier or much quicker to collect these orbs by foot because you get exactly 20, and he looks like he hit the lever there, which gives you some orbs. I forget, how much orbs do you get from the lever, Shintok?
5, I believe.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought so, but I thought I'd ask.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, nice
chain.
jump.
Thank you.
So this stage also has an auto-scroller that we're going to skip, but that's not until much later. But especially Elliot's stages favors having auto-scrollers.
Yeah, he has more of
Yeah, every single one of the stage has an auto-scroller, actually.
I never thought about it.
I didn't until just now myself. Like, even his third stage has 2 auto-scrollers, because he just loves them that much.
They are pretty neat, to be honest. It's kind of a shame we have to skip them because they are pretty cool visually.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, for sure. Especially in this one, you turn into a mermaid. So now he's going to do another super paraloop here to get at least 10 orb. Sometimes
too
you can
bad.
get it pretty easily, and sometimes it
Very
can be a little tricky.
That was
Yeah.
perfect.
If you can get it within like 3 attempts, that's really not too bad.
No. And this is one of the levels where you don't exactly need any boost or that much boost for the boss coming up here, Puffy.
It
is
certainly
nice.
helps, though.
It does
It
help.
does help. Yeah. If you want a really quick Puffy, then yeah, it really does help. So Puffy here, how she works is that you grab her and just throw her into the walls that break. And sometimes she can be in a really bad spot, like there. And so you managed to pull that off.
Yeah, that had me nervous.
And that
Those
was
were-
a really good Puffy.
Very, very nice.
For having no boost, especially, that wasn't bad at all. I like to see how far back through the course I can make it before the screen goes white. Funny thing about that boss, if you are doing the Sonic Into Dreams Easter egg in Christmas Nights, that boss is actually skinned like Eggman or
Yeah,
Dr. Robotnik.
Robotnik, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe it uses a track from Sonic CD as well.
It does, yeah.
I had a question about Christmas Nights. Is it a reskin of this game, or is it kind of a different
It's
game?
basically a reskin of this game, but it only has one level, and that is Spring Valley themed to being wintertime.
Yeah, so basically, Christmas
Okay.
Nights was like a winter release as a way to generate hype for the game, since I guess it was delayed. And what they did is it was released as like a regular demo disc, like labeled as Christmas Nights. But if you played it during Christmas time, then it would have everything Christmas theme. You have this Christmas song, and you can unlock a bunch of like extra goodies. Like there's a sound test. You can play as Sonic. You can play as Riala.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was kind of a glorified demo disc, but it had so many neat like unlockables that are unique to it that it kind of stands as its own. Now looking back on it, people are pretty fond of it, especially around the
Yeah.
holidays. It's a nice like
Oh, sure.
kind of
It's probably one
holiday
of the most
appropriate game.
full-featured demo discs you could find.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Well, I'll keep that in mind when we're planning Christmas programming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, any of us would be happy to show up for Christmas Nights.
for sure.
So right here, you wanted to get at least 6 before grabbing that cage full of orbs, and there's also that another boost refill, and there's just enough orbs to get the other orb, the orb to get the orb. So
And
now
here
here's
we
an
go.
auto-scroller we can't skip, but it's actually really fun. Your Knights turns into a bobsled, and Elliot gets to ride them.
So
Yeah, it's pretty
ideally, you
fun.
want to get a good amount of orbs coming out of this auto scroller. Otherwise, you would have to do another lap of it, which isn't really good.
Yeah, coming out with 17 is pretty good. Ideally,
Yeah.
you can get up to 20 coming out of there or more even, but that's pretty tough to do with how tight the movement is. But if you get at least 16, you're pretty good because you can get some from off screen.
Yeah, like if you come up a little short, there's some background orbs you can paraloop to get right there.
So now we're fighting Claws, which is actually a pretty interesting fight. Normally, you can only attack the lit mice, and Claws just keeps running from mouse to mouse. But you can paraloop the unlit ones as well to destroy them faster, and it's actually an intended strategy because it's the only way you can get.
And that was a really good clause by Soyo.
Yeah, that was very, very clean.
Thank you. That went pretty well.
That is
That's-
actually the best case scenario.
It is. That's how you're like. That's the proper routing and how we show people how to do claws. It's funny because I'm notorious for screwing up those soft resets and having to go back to the bio screen and costing a bunch of time, but I've been, knock on wood, super fortunate so far.
Finally, all the advice they've given you has finally kicked in.
Yeah.
Sage Shenchak here.
Are there any really heavy reset points in this speedrun?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't reset.
Yeah.
Fair.
We don't really reset in these runs just because there isn't really anything that would cost a lot of time unless you just were really stuck somewhere. But it's very rare that you would say, "Yeah, I need to reset this run."
Okay.
That's what makes this run very beginner friendly, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yes.
that and the fact that it's only like a half hour long means it's worth practicing the full run. And
Yeah, so
versus
there, at the beginning
resetting.
of the stage, he tried to go for something that we call a cactus jump, where if you get hit in that cutscene while on the cactus, you're able to move during the cutscene and save a small amount of time from just the falling animation, and then Knights comes out in a goofy animation too. And
So
then
this
here
second-
he's...
Yeah,
I'll
this
let you start.
second mirror, he's going to be skipping that. You see that grate there? That is the first auto scroller of this stage, and the auto scrollers in this stage are awful because you are stuck on the grate thing for like however long
30,
they go.
40 seconds. They're very
30, 40
long.
seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a huge waste of time, and like especially with the second auto scroller, it can cost way too much time, and you can actually run out of time while on that auto scroller, and that's no bueno.
Yeah, because the second one is technically 2 auto scrollers, because it's the one that we just skipped plus another one that's exclusive to the 4th lap.
Also, I apologize, Shentok, for cutting you off all the time.
Oh, it's all right.
I'm really happy to have both Shentok and Dream Tora here to help, because it's a lot easier to focus on playing this if I don't have to think about what I'm gonna say as well.
So this is like, for most people who play this casually, this is one of the hardest stages to get through, but in the speedrun it's actually really fun, and there's just a lot of cool movement and tricks to it that the other stages don't have. So like now we're going up this tower and we can only see the facing up, but in order to skip the auto scroller we have to go back down the way we came. So we have to go down this tower with the camera facing upwards. So you just had to memorize your way down. Oop.
A little bit, a
Little sloppy.
bit of a movement goof there by Soyo, but it's okay. It happens. So yeah, he's going to be going, down this tower, as Shentok said, and you can't see anything like where you're going, so you have to kind of guess and pray that you're gonna.
Yeah, if you do it
down
enough,
in
you kind of
time.
get a feel for like how you want to handle your movement.
You have to be careful not to hit these boosters here, and looks
Yeah.
like he's good. And so this boss coming up, Rila, how he works is that you do a paraloop around him to deal damage, and I think the quickest way to deal with him is just do a huge paraloop and hope that he flies into your paraloop each time.
Yeah, because Real is very, very deterministic, where Real is always going to follow where you are. And that was a very clean
And
Real
that was a
fight.
very clean Rila, yeah.
Yeah, that has potential to go bad in the same way as Jackal, where like if you don't get him right as he's coming into your paraloop, you tend to just paraloop each other for a while.
Yeah. Because basically he's just trying to do the same thing to you, but the only difference is that when you get hit, you lose time, whereas when Real gets hit, Real loses a point of health.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on the best stage, both casually and speedrun wise, and that is Twin Seeds. And I'll let Shentok explain.
So Twin Seas is a very unique stage. Both characters can play it, though they each get a different ending sequence for it. And the entire stage is basically one long lap, for better lack of term. Like, there's still technically 4 laps, but you only get 1 timer for it. And you don't play as Knights for it. You play as whatever character you chose, in this case Elliot, because it's just faster for menuing. And you get like some changes. You still move as you would as Knights, but you can no longer paraloop. But you get a larger attract radius for collecting the orbs. And for the first 2 laps, there's exactly 20, so you really have to kind of search them out, because you're limited on resources and they can be kind of tricky to find.
So this first lap is pretty straightforward. You just collect whatever orbs are in your path, and for first timers, it's kind of hard to find the last 4, but it's basically 2 are in the air and 2 are down below. And
Yeah.
I've many times during a run missed at least 2 of them.
Yeah, I tended to miss those a lot too. If you come up short, that's normally where they end up being.
Yeah, and then also gonna do basically not exactly a skip, but where when the plane shifts in your movement, you can turn around and go back down a path, and it allows you to do this one in reverse, and it just makes it quicker. And you can also do it for the next one as well to just speed them up, because there's like little points of where you're just kind of flying around and there's nothing going on, so just figuring out ways to make it go fast. You can get those stationary balloons at the top also give orbs.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize you had enough.
I got it.
18.
Yeah, he was good.
So now we're
Yeah.
trying to free knights from the gazebo in the center, and Claris, the other character, shows up. And now we fight the big bad evil wise man, who is basically trying to turn people's dreams into nightmares to steal human traits, I guess. I don't remember the story entirely.
Yeah, I'm not really well versed in the lore either.
Yeah. Wise Man is the big bad creator of Nightopia and Knights himself, and Knights has to call upon these 2 children to do his bidding for him, but also teaches them how to overcome their insecurities at the same time. So it's kind of a 2-way street.
Yeah.
So Wise Man, this boss, he has 3 phases. The first one there, as you saw, was where he throws fireballs. And this other one, you just dodge the asteroids and hit him. And the thing to note about Wise Man is you can't deal a hit on him unless both knights, as you can see, there's 2 knights. Both knights are like holding on to him.
Yeah, and then the 4th phase, you just want to fly through the tornado. You have to use your drill attack in order to actually get through it, otherwise you get blown backwards.
That's Wise Man.
That's Wise Man and the game. We're coming up on time here as soon as the screen fades to white. And it was a pretty good run, all things considered. And time.
Yeah, GG, that was real solid.
That was
Thank
was
you.
a really good run.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's probably the best run I did all tonight, because I did several to kind of practice, and that went the smoothest. So I'm really happy with that.
Well, we are very happy that you decided to run this for Time Capsule. Thank you so much, Soyo and Dream and Shentalk. I appreciate you guys helping out with commentary. So thank you for doing this, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yes,
Yeah,
thanks for
thanks.
having
That
us.
kind of just like came out of nowhere, and we're
Yeah.
so excited to have Soyo be selected.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, thank you again. We are going to get ready for the next speed run. But a quick thank you to all of our subscribers for making this hotfix content possible. We will return in a moment with Resident Evil, so stay tuned. Hello everybody, welcome back to Time Capsule. We are going on with our next game, which is Resident Evil. We couldn't have 1996 without it. So here I have with me Brando Oates, who's going to be running the Resident Evil Director's Cut. She'll arrange any percent. How are you feeling, Brando?
I am doing great. And like she said, I am Brando Oates. Some people call me Brando. And this is a very fun category to run. Now, I'll explain it now that there is 2 categories in Director's Cut. Though Director's Cut was released in 97, most of the assets and build were based off the 96 release. It's a mode that a lot of people do not know about, but it offers so much different things, like a difference in routes, enemies. It's known as the hard difficulty of RE1. So after spending a good few months rerouting it, saving up to 2 minutes in most categories, I want to show you guys what it's all about, because I truly feel that's an underrated category. So that's why I'm here today, to kind of show you guys what it's all about.
Well, whenever you are ready to get started, I will start the timer.
Yeah, give me 1 second. The best time, yeah, I feel the best time to do is when they start walking in the hallway, because there's always a 10-second difference between the IGT in real time, so you kind of give an idea like where you stand for the console runs.
Sure.
So let me go ahead and let this long dragged out message do its thing.
Be smart.
I like how the text kind of just goes with the voice acting in this game. It's so slow and spaced out.
Just
All
like
right.
me right now.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go to arrange. Jill, any percent arrange. Yeah, Chris does not want to be played. Look at his face. All right.
No.
I'll tell you when. It's right after the text that shows up past the 1998 screen that you might be able to see. It just depends on how fast I can mash through this. Oh, now you saw a little bit of it. They have escaped to mansion where they thought it was safe. Yeah. Start now.
Okay, starting.
Yeah.
What is this? Wow. What a mansion.
So what's happening in Jill's scenario, which out of most Resident Evils, this is the one that's like not really canon, with all 4 survivors leaving on the helicopter with Brad Vickers, if you're familiar with Resident Evil.
Stop it.
So
Don't
you got
open that
Wesker,
door.
Barry, and Jill. And in Arrange, people always ask
What
about the
is it?
costume, but
Maybe
in
it's
Arrange mode,
this.
they gave her a different outfit, Chris
Jill,
and Rebecca,
can you
which
go?
makes me think
I'm going
any
with
character
you.
that's playable, they
Chris
actually
is our
swapped out
old
their
partner,
outfits.
you know. Okay, let me handle this.
So what they got to do is investigate the dining room because gunfire was shot
Stay
that
alert.
way. So what Alpha Team is doing, because there's 2 different teams, there's Bravo Team and Alpha Team. Bravo Team flew out first, crashed their helicopter. They came in to kind of check on the whole situation. They didn't get any response. So this is why they're here now.
A dining room.
So the route is pretty much completely different. All the items are in completely different spots. And I will
What?
not interrupt this voice
What
acting.
is this?
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
So I'll talk a lot of since I've worked pretty hard on this, I'll talk a lot of differences if anybody knows about Jill Original. It's a very popular RE1 category. Like I said, all the items are in different spots, so the route completely changes, the lines completely changes. There is some rooms that are the same, but movements, lines, it's key to a lot of old school RE games.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this. What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's
I'll do my
report this
best to add
Wesker.
variety as well as explaining the strats if anybody's interested in running this. If anybody has any questions, feel free to always ask. You know, I as well told Smooth Operative if people start asking questions, any common ones, to feel free and shoot it my way.
I am reading the chat, so
Nice one.
nice.
Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
So pretty much the idea of it is the same. It's the fastest way to trigger this next cutscene, so Barry can give Jill the lockpick.
Find
So all this
anything,
stuff
Jill?
is very similar
Nothing.
to Jill Original.
What is this all about? I can't figure it out.
Simple
at all.
question, why you run the biohazard
me, too.
version? I'm assuming
Now
it's faster.
Wesker's time
In
to
But you can
Japan, it was
elaborate.
they
I
called
don't
it
know
yeah
what's
they called it
going on.
biohazard in
Well,
Japan. That's a great
can't be
question,
helped.
and it's one that
Let's
I
search for him
am cool.
separately.
I
I'll check
don't
the
mind
dining
answering
room
it.
again.
Faster text, all these
Okay,
things that can
I'll
make the
try
run
the
a lot
door on the
faster.
opposite
And
side.
with Resident Evil, it's a bit
This
unique in
mansion
its
is
own way.
gigantic.
Usually with the Japanese
We could
ports
get in
and the
trouble
old
if we
school
get
RE
lost.
games, enemies can
We
do
should
more
start from
damage.
the first
You,
floor,
as the character,
okay?
can do more damage
And
to the
Jill,
enemies. So a lot of
here's a
that just kind of
lockpick.
builds up a faster
It might be
time.
handy if you,
And
the
depending on the
master of the
port,
lock
like
room,
some of the
take it with
American
you.
ports, you don't even get auto aim. Auto aim gives you the luxury of getting that
Thanks.
like
Maybe
exact
I'll need it.
accurate shot to have consistency with most kills. A range is a little bit different. I'll go
If
into
something
explaining some of
happens,
that later, but
let's
if you're
meet
running
up in this
original,
hall.
I will explain the comparisons on that as well later.
This time I'll be there.
All right. So it's not like a randomizer mode. They added this mode, I believe, because Resident Evil 2 got canceled, as we know, as 1.5. So they released director's cut to kind of fill in the time, and they gave you the Resident Evil 2 demo as well, the double disc. Now, a lot of people kind of think, oh, director's cut dual shock edition with that, silly soundtrack, but there's two different versions. This one actually has the original good soundtrack, while in 1998 they released the greatest hits, which gave you the yeah. One thing I do like about arrange mode, you probably hear me mashing on the controller, it does get a little bit intense with the zombie bites, is Forrest becomes a zombie in arrange mode, which became kind of a big thing because they did the same thing for remake. Because in original mode, he doesn't become a zombie. You get a cutscene with crows if you end up getting too close to him and pressing action. So right there, I had to pick up my bazooka. That's one of my main weapons besides my handgun. We're gonna run into Barry to get some acid rounds for later.
Barry!
Jill, what's going on?
Even though you're
Any
supposed to be
clues?
checking the dining room.
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa, this hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
I'll
Thank
take this,
you.
Dan.
I'll take this.
All right, so
then.
he supplies us with acid rounds, which again, that's something I'll explain a bit later. So our next step is that compared to original mode, Forrest, you have to go to him. I think it was something that they wanted to do because I get it. They wanted to, kind of show off what, the differences were, and him becoming a zombie versus the original where he doesn't reanimate. Like giving that armor key in that position, you have no choice. You have to run into him and see the cutscene where he becomes a zombie to actually grab the armor key. Now, there's a lot of rooms that you don't go into in original in this mode, and original that you don't go into in arrange. Just gonna slide past those steps. And like I said, there's a lot of similar things as well, like the dogs breaking through the window, which I find as one of the most iconic jump scares of all time, because back in the day, people didn't see much of this kind of stuff, especially back in around 96. So we're gonna go in here. There's a particular strat you want to do because it can get pretty nasty pretty quickly. So I always do 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, because these dogs are naughty. All right. So I got the chemical. Now, if I get a no damage, that is awesome. Holy moly, that was actually very good. One hit is one thing, but if you take 2 hits, yeah, you're kind of pushing it. But that was just a no damage, and that's not an easy thing to do. I don't want to get too excited yet because we got a long way to go. So what we're going to do now is head to the aquarium. We have to collect 4 crests in order to get to the courtyard. The biggest difference between original and arrange with the courtyard crest is that one of them is broken in half, so you have to connect them together. So it's 5 pieces instead of 4 pieces to collect. Compared to Chris arrange, Jill has it a lot easier and her route's a little bit smoother, but they both, obviously even with Chris, offer like a lot of RNG. Jill's manageable, but it's the kind of RNG where it's not too much. It's manageable, but it's like you kind of reset and you kind of shake it off. Yeah, there's the broken crest piece right there. And let's go ahead and clear up some space. So the thing about Jill and Chris that makes a huge difference, and I totally understand why people prefer Jill, because she has 8 slots. And then even 2 more slots makes a big difference. Chris only has 6.
The struggle to get around with Chris and those 6 slots
He's
is
like a
real.
human tank. He takes up the entire hallway, so you know
Yeah.
you're gonna get bit. Need for speed dodge. Let's see if we can get it. Nope, not quite. It's a slippery dodge, but I wasn't really counting on it. It happens. And there's so many differences and so many ports, especially even with this room, something as small as this. Like pushing it once is something you can't do in the PC port because the gas will come out. This is a little bit faster and easier, in my opinion, and smoother on console.
No, you're playing this actually on a Japanese PS2, correct?
Correct, the 90K, which I highly recommend if you guys run games. The higher the so like yeah, you want to go for the 90K, just generally speaking on American whatever game you play. I mean, for Resident Evil in particular, you want the 90K, and you put it on fastest speed. So yeah, I'm playing on the PS2 right now.
Makes it a little bit easier.
It makes it a lot smoother,
Yeah.
especially this voice acting.
Richard, what happened?
That's what they told me in the description when I bought it. They said Richard would have better voice acting, so I instantly bought it.
This house
So old.
is dangerous.
Mhm.
There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake, and also poisonous. Ugh.
Poisonous?
So if you guys don't know and you're new to RE, like the old
Richard,
school ones,
hold on.
that's cool too. This is Richard Aiken.
There
He's from
is
Bravo
serum.
Team.
Oh
Just a
no.
couple years
I
younger
should have
than
brought
Jill.
some with me.
No problem.
Well, they
I'll
might
go
actually
and
be
get
the
it.
same age now that I think about
Thanks.
it. I just know I need to get him serum, and he's almost bitten halfway. Like he's pretty much done. But so the main mission here is to go get the serum for him. Same deal as original. So most of the stuff you see me doing is a completely different route with all the items in different spots. So I will do a couple safe strats because the RNG gets a bit heavy later. So I will pick up 6 extra grenade rounds just to keep it safe because I want to give you guys the best run possible to represent this mode the best I can because you guys deserve it. So right here, I'm going to shoot this guy. I mean, he wasn't really doing anything wrong, but he was in the way of the statue. This next guy, how the AI works with the zombies is they slightly turn depending on their pathing. It's all RNG based, so until he turns, there he goes. You can just kind of pass over him. I call it shoulder bumping. You can just bump right past him. Unlike Chris, you can do a strat with Jill here where you just hold run instantly and he can't grab you. Chris, again, he's super wide, takes up the whole hallway, so the zombie can easily grab you. Now, I'm not hating on Chris. I think Chris is a fun run as well. It's a little more RNG heavy, like I said, but overall, pretty good. So now this is the probably like the most iconic save room for most. It's one of the first save rooms that anybody's ever seen. We're gonna go ahead and drop off the knife and the armor key to make room for later. And that's the only time that Jill needs to bank anything in a range, which is nice. You know, the less item management, banking, item boxes, anything like that, that's always nice when you have to deal with it much.
Now, do you get more ribbons in arrange mode?
They're just put in different spots. They're
Okay.
probably, I would say they're about the same for the most part. Good question.
Not
But
that
like
you're going to stop and use them, but just generally curious.
Well, you don't know that. I'm about to use it on this thing right here. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is where we use the chemical. I call it Baby Plant 42. That's why when we fight Plant 42 in the guardhouse, he's so angry because I killed its kid, I think. I don't know. I know it's a plant, so... And that thing's pretty angry later. So I must have done something wrong. So, like, in original mode, I'll just give a brief example. Normally, you would get the armor key here. We got it by Forrest's body to kind of show off that he reanimated and became a zombie. Now they kind of just moved the crest in this section. And even things like the hallway earlier that I was in, past the save room, when the dogs busted through the windows, I thought that was a neat feature because, you know, in the original mode, it's just zombies. So they added a new section where dogs can bust through the windows. which is a new jump scare they created. They did a really good job on this mode.
They
for
wanted to
sure.
make arrange mode extra terrifying.
They sure did. Alright, it's piano room. It's all about like this game to me. Like if you guys ever get into it, like if you ever get into speedrunning, go for it. You know what I mean? You'd be surprised what you're capable of, and things like this. Like I've been on this game for like quite a while, different categories, different REs, but it's a lot of fun.
Someone was asking earlier if you run other Resident Evil games
I
or
run
different
Resident Evil.
categories.
Right, it's hard to say because I think for me it's like how consistent I am at it or how long I've taken a break.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I have a history of speedrunning a lot of games. I think variety is key. I think it's what helps you kind of improve as a speedrunner overall, is just taking that chance and not being afraid anymore. Kevin McAllister quote I kind of live by from Home
No.
Alone.
I'm not afraid anymore.
I'm not afraid anymore. You hear me? But yeah, I would say Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 original is a very fun one, and I think for me personally, like the old school tank controls, original REs is what I grew up with, so that's what I'll be running most. I did try out Code Veronica for a little bit, things like that. Resident Evil Gaiden, just kidding, I didn't do that. There's only 2 songs in that game. This Jill is on fire. So far, the run is pretty good so far. We have to grab this blue jewel so we can grab the key. Now, like I always say, positive over negative. I am going to go for the most intense yawn dodge. I have enough safe strats to feel like it will balance itself out, that I need to kind of show you guys some really clutch stuff. And if I get bit, whatever. It's 2 more
Alright.
minutes that I get to spin with you guys. So
You heard it. He's going for it.
yeah, I'm gonna go for the, there's 3 different ways to dodge yawn. You can kind of back up a bit, run past them, which is the fastest way, or you can just generally just run forward. And then there's the one where you can kind of keep his AI in track, which I recommend for beginners, and you slowly kind of learn from there. And then there's the corner dodge. But I mean, like I said, Barry will save me anyways, and I have full health, so I can't really complain. So there's the key to the attic. This tiger part is so it's so long. Just when you think it's over, he's still turning. Another really cool thing is, when I changed up the route, because I love routing, finding new glitches, it's like one of my favorite things to do. It's almost tied with just speedrunning in general. I love finding new glitches because I used to work on like Unreal Engine stuff, so I kind of learned about, video games, animations, sequences, scripting. So it really helped when I came, and I started to, when I came back to Twitch and I started like running certain games. It kind of just connected, it was really neat. So let's go ahead and head upstairs.
Do you feel like the Resident Evil series had an impact on your decision to like look further into coding and things like that?
Yeah, because I did create a mod, a 4 co-op mod, which was called Resident Evil Lost Stories, which was made on Unreal Engine, where there's 4 players, but the way I did it was it had the original feel, it had the idea of it, stories that weren't really spoken about. Like it was a neat little story. I even added my own voice acting in, which is actually worse than this,
Richard,
believe it or not.
hold on. I'll give you a shot
But yeah,
now.
it's impacted my life. It's impacted
Jill,
like the
here's
way I
my
speedrun.
radio.
It's I know
You
to kind
should
of not
keep it.
dodging the questions, but yeah,
I'm-
it's done so much for me. This
No,
game in this
Richard.
series has played a huge important role in my
Jill,
life.
Be careful.
It's made me the man I am today.
Oh, there you go.
And he's dead.
Oh, well, that was
I mean,
short-lived.
I mean, if I got almost bit in half, I would just be like, "That's cool, dude. Just don't get me CERM." All right, once Jill's visible in this section, I have to turn left. Nice dodge. It's a bit overwhelming because there's just 2 zombies chilling. So like I said, if I get bit, it's cool. Like I don't sweat these kind of things. It's all about having fun, right? I like to have fun.
Fun, fun. No.
It's too late. I already said it.
Now we're gonna have fun with Jan here.
Let's see if we can get it. Okay, this is kind of intense. I can't tell because I bumped into the wall. So I'm going to be really, really smart about this because that was a bit sloppy. So I'm going to keep his AI on track because it was a bit too soon. So I'm just going to take it a bit slow. Nice thing is there's always a backup strat. Yeah, it's okay. We did it kind of the slow way. We mixed it up. But the way I bumped into the wall, it was not... I would have gotten bit and we would have lost more time. So... You know what? I'm proud of myself because usually I'm very stubborn about those things. Still got it.
You still got it.
Yeah, I bumped into the pillar and then he smacked me with his tail, so he was being kind of a jerk, so I did what I had to do. The good news is we only have one more crest piece to pick up and, you know, believe it or not, we're already heading to the guardhouse. God, I'm so proud of myself. Usually I'd just be like, screw it, let's do it. But I know I would have gotten bit. He was just like waiting for me.
Well, it's a marathon run and you're making good decisions.
Yeah, you know what? I'm proud of myself. All right, so the next section we got to head into, or room rather, is the painting room. And like I said, the spawns and everything is so changed up. Like, there's stuff, if you're speedrunning the game, there are things that are easier. Wait, what's 1 second? Wait until his shoulders lift up because there's a hyper zombie in there. That's one thing Arrange has is these hyper zombies. They take the standard walk animation and they increase it like they're running. All right. Holding down text is very important. I used to not do that. I used to just kind of mash it, and I saved over a minute when I learned how to like hold it and let go at the correct time.
Well, you've been working on Arrange mode for quite some time.
Oh yeah, it's improved me overall, just on so many other REs. Like I'm grateful because this is like my favorite Resident Evil to run, and I think it's just so awesome that I get to run it for you guys, you know. And just to kind of show you what it's all about, because, you know, when I'm streaming it, like people are like, oh, is this a mod? Is this that? Is this that? Because, you know, some people never got to play it, you know, and I'll tell you this now, it's not necessarily bad. It's something new that you guys can play if you're Resident Evil fans. You know what I mean? It's a treasure, so it's definitely something to check out now. Never like feel bad for being late, like on trying different things. I haven't even played the Metal Gear games. Probably shouldn't have said that, but at least I shot that zombie.
Well, how about someone go about finding Arrange mode? Is it its own separate disc?
It's if you want Arrange mode for sure, like to keep it simple.
Okay.
I'm gonna combine this crest and I will answer your question.
For sure.
Yeah, Resident Evil Director's Cut. That's all you need to know, and it will have the Arrange mode option and beginner if you're feeling very new to it. And you know, if you're a beginner and you got to get used to the tank controls, you're not used to this new, like this old school style of gameplay. It has variety, and so you have that's the good thing compared to the 1996 original release. It has more variety to choose from, plus the original mode as well.
Probably just something nice for like existing RE fans who may not have known about the director's cut to explore.
Yeah, no doubt. And Director's Cut is definitely my favorite. I think it offers the most variety besides Sega Saturn. The only downfall in the Sega Saturn port is it's very slow, but you get the battle mode and the ticks in the underground mining area, Zombie Wesker, the double tyrant fight, only exclusive on Chris's game, no matter if it's good ending or bad ending.
That is a hefty list.
Well, yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about Resident Evil back in the day. It's like here, you know, even as a collector or a gamer, it's like, you know, it's not just some port over with maybe slightly graphical differences. They made sure as a collector or someone that just wants to play the game that it was worth it, that it was worth the buy. And that's what I've always respected about like Capcom and their early work with Resident Evil.
Sure, very cool stuff.
Yeah. Definitely. For show.
For show.
All right. For show. All right. These lifts, I mean, I think it's random to bring this up, but you got to be careful with these lifts because if you're speed running, you go a little too forward, a little too back, you won't hit that trigger and she'll just stand there for like 2 minutes and you're wondering what happened with your life. I'm going to cut this cord. All right, so we're going to try to get this has been a good Courtyard 1. Courtyard 2 is You get a little more worried, but let's see if we can get all the... Oh, nope. Oh, got that dog. It gets a little wild, because in original mode, Jill was considered the easier difficulty, while Chris was considered hard, so they pretty much added everything that Chris had in original. So let's go ahead and see where our health's at. So what I'm going to do for a safe strat, because I know it's right. And you got to be careful in this spot, because I don't know if they're trying to spoil you, because they can give you an ink ribbon here. Yeah, my health's pretty low. So it's your health drops. Even if you play the Japanese version, which is a little bit easier on damage, you will drop quickly. So you have to keep an eye on those things. Especially with this guy constantly trying to choke you to death. So I'm going to go into the save room, which is not part of the new route. But if you start out this way and you're interested in running this, that's completely fine. It's what I did at first, and it really helps with what I'm about to explain coming up shortly. He's probably going to choke me again. No, he can't. Well, he could have right there. I shouldn't have got too cocky about it. Forgot there's a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we're in the residence area known as the guardhouse. So it's 001 room, 002 room, 003 room. So I think there's 2 items, if I'm not mistaken, that are in different spots. That are in the same spot as original, this key being one of them. So the biggest thing I think is nice, especially if you're speedrunning the game, is that you face Plant 42 before going underground in the Neptune section. Instead of going to Neptune first, pushing all those boxes, you just get Plant 42 over with. You know, whatever your fate decides, you kind of just get it over with, which I find pretty awesome. Normally, if you want a really fast run, you want to be as fast as possible as of now and how the route's set up, you would want to take force damage from these 2 zombies, but I'm going to go ahead and shoot them since I picked up the extra rounds. And we get the 003 key, which leads right to Plant 42, and we got the red book, which we take the random book out so we can open up that secret bookshelf.
Are all the puzzles mostly the same?
Yeah, all the puzzles and all that are all
Okay.
the same. It's just the items are in different spots. Most enemy spawns are different. Health's different. For the character, they take more damage. Enemies do more damage. You know, that kind of stuff.
I feel like
And
this
then,
is randomizer before randomizer was randomizer.
yeah, before it was like a confirmed randomizer. Like, it stays the
Sure.
same, so you never have to, like, worry that it might be different. But it's always the same. Though there was somewhat of a randomizer for Resident Evil 2 Nintendo 64. Let me go ahead and
Oh,
shoot
interesting.
this zombie. Yeah, which was an early kind of project. Again, talking about how unique the ports can be and how they have different things to offer. All right, so let's go ahead and combine this. So we're on caution. I'm not getting too worried. Don't worry, I'll keep it safe. All right, so this is Plant 42. In original, he always consistently takes 3 rounds. This is random. So let's just see how it goes. Okay, 4 rounds, that's not bad. So this is the old strat, so I'm going to waste these rounds, combine my acid rounds, because Plant 42 is random with his health RNG. Same with if I was doing 100%, for example. I noticed Tyrant 2 on the roof, if you do good ending and keep Barry alive, his health is
What the hell is
different. Like, it can change up every time. I remember when I PB'd on a good 100% run, I took every single round I had left. Nothing. I was on 0-0 with everything. But normally, I wouldn't pick up these 6 grenade rounds. I would have about 3, take the force damage from those 3 zombies, and if I'm lucky, it would take exactly 3 grenade rounds, because you need 2 acid rounds for the basement, just for faster times in the underground mansion library. But Barry saved me, so we're okay.
Barry coming in clutch.
Yeah.
Saved me.
Yeah.
It's like, where did he get that
was close.
flamethrower?
Thanks, Barry.
He has found it.
Don't mention it. What a monster. I can't believe. What the hell is this
It's a
place anyway?
mansion, Barry. All right, so I'm going to go to the fireplace. I don't know why someone put a key in there. I don't know what goes down in this mansion, but it's in the fireplace, and I'm happy that I got a key, because it leads to the next section. All right, so like I said, that's one big thing about a range in original mode is that the route in the guardhouse is a lot different. And there's something else, but I won't spoil it yet, and it's awesome.
Prizes in store.
Lots. Just when you think it's over, there's always more. So the best way to push this is 1, 2, like kind of like quarter half, something like that, and then go around and 1, 2. $13, $14. Yeah, you want to push it 23 times. Any more, Jill's gonna have to reset the room, and that's a big no-no. You don't want that.
Well, it wouldn't be 1996 without some box pushing. That's
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
it. Yeah, just when you think like you're halfway through the game, you're like, you know what? I think I think I made it. Nope.
Nope.
You had a good few boxes to push. This was just as long as Mansion 1. Nah, I'm just kidding. But it's not bad. It's just simple pushing. And then I'm gonna grab these 2 green herbs here since my health's pretty low. I mean, this is when it gets pretty rough coming up. You have to be careful, and it's one of those runs, like, again, RNG determines your run, and I think it's nice as a speedrunner, you have to kind of improvise, do a bit of your own thing, but also try to follow the route at the same time because it's never always the same. I'm not talking about obviously the items being in different spots, just how Jill's health is, how much rounds Plant 42 takes. And anytime you grab health, always remember when your status screen is open to make sure to use it then so you don't have to use an extra menu in all those load times. So right now I will use these 2 green herbs. Beautiful. Doom, 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 doom. All right, we flip this switch to obviously drain the water. And I'm sure you guys know of Remake. Remake is obviously similar to this. It's a great addition. Love it. I think it's how you remake a game, and they've done a great job on it. But if you noticed, if you guys never played this, but you've played Remake, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have, it's not as, this is more simplified. It's pretty straightforward. It's like hit a switch, everything's done. You don't have to deal with jaws like trying to swallow you constantly. All right, so this is the next mansion key we got to pick up. So far through our adventure, if I can try to get into the story a little bit, we lost Joseph Frost, part of Alpha Team at the beginning, by Cerberus. We lost Kenneth Sullivan due to the first zombie. We lost Forrest Spare because of the crows, and Richard because of Yawn and the infection, poison. So 1 Alpha Team member, 3 Bravo Team. Well, Kevin Dooley was mentioned in Remake. And this is when we come across Wesker because he's been pretty sneaky.
Wesker!
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say. Where on earth have you been? You disappeared from the hall all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons.
I don't know about you guys,
Perhaps you
but I
guys
don't
have met
trust
them?
this guy. He
It was
seems
all I
kind
could
of
do
sketchy.
to protect myself against those.
You
strange
mentioned something
creatures.
briefly about like zombie
Is that
Wesker.
right?
That's
Anyway,
is that a
this
thing?
little-
so you're safe.
He's in battle mode for
Jill.
Sega Saturn. He's
Oh,
in battle
okay,
mode.
okay.
To get
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of here.
Yes, you're right.
Which is something I like to run. I just have to
Now,
get
there
it,
are a
you
lot
know,
of rooms
about,
in that
I
mansion
love
that
console.
we
Like I
can't
run a
get
lot of
into
retro
because they're
games as
locked down.
well.
I have
So I'm
been
always
looking
about
around
original
for
hardware. And
clues.
as you guys can tell, if you're looking at the quality,
I'll go
it
to
kind
our
of slightly
house
kind of
and
has
see if
an
I can find
emulator
any
look, like with
clues.
Chris
Will you do
you
that?
know, again, quality.
Count on it.
I use an OSSC, which if you guys ever get into speedrunning as well, or you just want good quality and want to run on original hardware, I highly recommend it. That's what I use for this stuff. All right, let's go ahead and leave the guardhouse. Wesker talks too much.
He's so chill about it too. He's like, "Oh, so you're safe."
He's like, "Oh, so you're safe." He's like reading the palm of his hand because he had to write out stuff. It's pretty cool because in original mode he was shooting like a bee, which is kind of silly, but in arranged they added a web spinner, which is also known as the smaller spiders. Their name was they gave him the code name Web Spinner.
Bit
yeah,
scarier
looks,
than a bee.
It looks a little more intense because he's, you know, those spiders are pretty big. And the thing that I like about Resident Evil 1 is that it was very Romero-like. It was the only Resident Evil that felt like a mystery horror game, kind of like, yeah, like a George Romero type old school. You know, with the acting and the scenery, the look. And I've
Well,
always
something that's like really unique about this game in particular is that there is the live action sequences that they made for this.
Yeah, unlike the others, so they kind of created
Yeah.
that, like, kind of and I love George Romero films, I think they're fantastic. Dawn of the Dead being one of my favorites, but this kinda has that vibe because Shinji Mikami was very, very, he loved George Romero's work. He was originally supposed to direct the first film, and then something happened, and Paul W. Anderson took over and did the 2002 Resident Evil movie that you guys got. So, one cool thing about Jill Any Percent and Jill Arrange is that stuff is in different spots. So we can actually skip the study room, which makes this dodge a lot easier because this hunter is kind of a jerk. You'll probably see why he's a jerk. He's coming up. Say he can't hit me. But when you have to go to that door before this one, he can kind of smack you sometimes. And I say, you know what, Mr. Hunter, that's not very nice. And he don't listen. He does the same thing over and over again. So now we're heading upstairs to fight Jan. It's always best to use acid rounds. He's the same as original. If you're playing the American port, it's 5 acid rounds. The Japanese port, 4 acid rounds for original and arrange mode. I just want to make sure, and I will do an inventory check because I'm trying to balance out the commentary and all that with what I'm doing now. Okay, so what we got to do is we got to waste this round. Not grab that key. It's a nice key, but we can't grab it yet. And then try to play the piano again.
The piano is very different from Remake.
Yeah, he's like, here I come. So really, most of these fights, it's just one spot. So I can just shoot here. 1, 2, 3. Simple as that. And here comes Barry. He's like, what's going on?
Jill, have you found anything interesting?
Yes,
No
but I
urgency.
can't see very well.
Best line in the
about
game.
going
Have
down
you
to check
found
by
anything
yourself?
interesting? It's
I
this
have a rope
big
here.
snake. I'm talking about Anaconda.
Well, then I'll try
Walks
and go down
through
using
it.
the
Jennifer
rope.
Lopez Ice
Wait.
Cube style, but there's like this big snake, and he's just he literally stepped on it. He just didn't care. He's like, well, I mean, I guess he's feeling
Yeah.
pretty good.
Barry's so tall, he didn't notice it.
He's probably just feeling that adrenaline
what's
rush from
going
stealing
on?
that flamethrower from the caves.
Now I've
Oh, yeah.
done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait.
So what happened now is
I'll go and get
Barry
another
dropped
rope.
the rope. This is like one of the biggest mistakes in
Barry?
Resident Evil history because it's so
Barry?
normal to turn around and say, "Hey, cool, look at this. Let's check this out." And then you would never think, and I will tell you this now. I mean, spoiler, too soon. I don't freaking know. This obviously this game's very old. But yeah, if you wait for him, you just have to wait it out. I don't know the exact timing. He'll come back and give you another rope, which opens you up for good ending, but you can still kill him in the mining area. So normally down here there'd be a zombie, so they replaced them with hunters to make it more intense. So we got 2 acid rounds, which is the norm, what we want, like on a good run. So again, we picked up the extra 6 rounds, went to the save room. We normally don't do that, but just to make it for sure that we get, so we don't want to take any more damage. So he took 2 hits, which is not good. they kind of eat up these rounds. I don't know why. It's more common in Arrange than in Original. I needed that round for the underground library zombie, but again, with anything you do, there's always a substitution or safe strat, so that's what we're gonna have to do to avoid taking any damage. And that's okay. You just gotta play your cards right. Because there's nice blue double doors. Alright, so instead of shooting him and just kind of pushing this, we're just gonna lure him back. You could take force damage, push him away, but it's kind of a risky strat, because depending on his AI, I'm gonna let him kind of just travel this way. That gives me enough time to push this. Just right, yep, perfect. Normally, I would use my second acid round on him, and it's done, you know. GG and all that. That was a good pickup. So that's the battery for the courtyard, which normally you get in that little storage room, which is more to the left in the hallway before this library. So you want to slightly turn and wrap this around. So what I'm going to do in here is pick up the red book, which is normally in the study room that I got to skip. That's why the hunter didn't smack the back of my leg. And since I'm going to be in menu, I'm actually going to equip my handgun. And I'm going to shoot, pause, cancel the zombie, which puts him back in idle position where you can just run past them like you literally just spawned right in front of him in the room. Very neat strat. It's not a major glitch. And it's just good old-fashioned fun. Alright, so what we're going to do is equip this, check the book, so we don't have to open up an extra menu later to do it. And like I said, anytime you're in menu, you got to use something. Do it when you actually have to do it, you know? So you can do the pause cancel with the knife or the handgun, which I kind of find it easier with the handgun, Chris. I find it easier with the knife, things like that. So I'm going to kind of step forward a little bit. Headshot, holy moly. Okay, this is perfect. So I use the handgun. You guys are probably like, okay, how do you get a headshot first try? This is a new type of handgun, which kind of started the whole Samurai Edge setup for Resident Evil. They changed up the handgun from original mode, where the handgun in original mode was super weak. It was an all gray handgun. This is an updated brown handle, silver top Beretta, which has a super high chance of getting headshots, whether it's 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots. That was perfect RNG because he would just take the hit. So that was very solid. And then you got this guy coming down the stairs. He's like, hello. He's a hyper zombie, so I have to be careful. Nice. Yeah, I make silly sounds sometimes when I have to, when it's intense situations like that.
It happens.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
And
So,
if making strange sounds is it, then so be it.
Yep, exactly. These 2 double doors, said you unlock the door. You guys probably recognize this. In the original mode, it was 2 hunters. They replaced them with 2 web spinners, which makes things easier. So like I said, some things are easier in Arrange when it comes to dodging or the setup. I'm going to be smart and pick up this green herb coming up since it's on route, because Courtyard 2 can be kind of dangerous because you're putting the battery to start the lift up. You have to use the crank again to fill up the water, to lose the water, to enter the underground mining area, all this stuff. So, with the dogs being everywhere, there's 3 in the beginning section, 3 in the second section. So it's like a lot of things are going on. So you have to be careful. It's definitely been a run killer on my part, no doubt. Even on great runs, it's been sad times. So we're gonna go ahead and turn here, kind of connect it. So my health's on fine, which is good. So when I use the battery, I'll, use it in the same menu to just take it. Those hunters can be crybabies. I would just ignore them. They scream and pout if they can't get a hit in. There you go. Just kind of loop around this guy. Sorry, sir. The hunters in this game, if you guys had a hard time, don't feel bad. That was the whole trick to it. They have this one animation, and it's just how they always use their left arm, so you have to dodge on the opposite side, and you'll always dodge them. The more there is, the more complicated it can be depending on the area and the hallway. But that's all. You know, it's
It's
funny how.
not ever the right arm, it's only the left?
Yes, exactly.
Well, that makes things easier.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, if you shoot at them, they like kind of go back. They take the animation of taking the round, but then they start jumping in the air, and then you start missing rounds. Sometimes the hardest enemies can be the easiest once you kind of understand how they work. I would say as speedrunning this now, I would say like probably the zombies give me the hardest times because they're most common, but you know, they're the biggest time loss and time save, I'd say. Besides bosses, of course, if we're talking basic enemy. Well, no, the dogs are
Sure.
kind of bad too, but zombies are so common, I think they kind of take the cake on that one.
Well, you said there are more dogs in this version.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Let's take... Oh.
As we pass
Oh, I
the
can't even
dogs.
take this. Wow. Yeah. Sorry, guys. It was telling me that I couldn't take it because I guess my health is on, like, complete fine. But I want to be safe and I want to complete the run for you guys, so... It's the best way to go about it. I have no regrets. Okay, this part's a little bit kind of rough. You have to kind of improvise and do your own thing. Whoop. Okay, I got tagged once. It's okay. All right, we just got to get out of there. These Cerberus are kind of feisty. Once they pounce on you, the whole crew is just trying to...
like stun lock you.
Yeah, they're trying to destroy your life. But you know what you say? Too bad. Because I'm speedrunning. Squeak, squeak. Alright, so we gotta head back that way, which makes it kind of rough. So, I would say what I just did was the hardest part of Courtyard 2. The way back can be a little bit tricky. You just kind of have to time it. See, I just moonwalked there. Literally. That's okay. So, 2 tags, I'm not going to complain. I told you about the lift earlier, how you have to be like almost dead center. But yeah, 2 tags ain't bad. I just liked my little moonwalk dodge. So you kind of have to improvise. So you got to use natural skill with this category. Like it's good to play a game casually. Get used to it casually, then start speedrunning it. Because then you kind of get an idea of both. So if something happened, oh my goodness, sir. He kind of blocked me off like that. So now we're in the underground mining area. We're going to be running into our 4th comrade from Bravo team. His name is Enrico, and he has the best acting overall in this game. Grab your tissues. Grab tissues, no cry.
Is that Jill?
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're alive.
Sarcastic. He's that like that
Are you with
sarcastic guy
anybody,
you have to
Jill?
eat like on the job at dinner. He's like, yeah.
What? Oh no, I'm alone. But why are you asking?
Listen, the stars are going to be finished soon. Someone
I just like how
is
little
a
his legs
traitor.
are.
Oh.
Everything was
Somebody
plotted
skipped
from the
leg
start
day.
by
Oh,
Umbrella.
crap, he's dead. Now I feel bad.
Wow.
He got them little legs. Couldn't climb down the ladder, so he probably like broke his legs doing that.
Enrico!
So compared to original, the cranks at the
Who
end of the
killed him,
hall,
I
because I believe
wonder?
Wesker, well, obviously Wesker shot Enrico. So in this version, which I like more, he's holding a clip in original. In this version, he's actually holding onto the crank, which makes sense how he got throughout the this area alone. So normally Wesker would run off, and then you would get the crank here, and then yeah, it was kind of rough depending on like which player. Like Chris would be very tough because you got the 2 hunters you got to try to dodge at the same time. All right, so we just have to kind of ride the wall here. This is a neat thing coming up with Black Tiger, which is like the spider boss, you know. The queen of the spiders, like huge spider. So, and with it being a range mode, the spit takes more damage off the web. So you can do it within 3 or 4. 3, you just have to be properly lined up, but it's faster than using the grenade rounds because since the webs are stronger, you don't normally use the 2 grenade rounds like you would in original mode. You would actually just, let's take this now just in case. You would actually just try to like even them out as perfectly as possible to get rid of the webs. So let's do this little Indiana Jones part. Dun 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 dun. All right. So the way to set this up on a range, something I found is just run straight to the double doors, line up as he lifts, run a little bit forward. That's 1. Stay in the center. 2. We might get it in 4, which is not bad. Ooh, I got sprayed. That's okay. We'll see where I'm at. We'll see if I'm poisoned. If I'm poisoned, that's completely fine too. There's a blue herb towards the entrance to the laboratory, and there's green herbs. So if it comes down to it, it's all good.
Do you know if you're poisoned yet, or you have to check?
I'm about to find out. Nope, I'm good.
Nice.
Yeah. Black Tiger is pretty feisty too. Like she'll poison you pretty quickly. So we got to rotate this 3 times, which is actually really fun. But that was just me being sarcastic. I went on autopilot so bad in the past doing these runs where like I would be talking to chat and I would just rotate it like 17 times. People were like,
Oh
dude,
my
what are you
God.
doing? I'm like, what? It's like squeak, 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 squeak. And that gigantic Indiana Jones ball is like, what are you doing, dude?
It's like, come on.
It's over,
now.
bro. Hurry. It's my cue. Which
Is
is
it on
funny.
a timer at all, or it's just whenever you?
Oh, you talking about just rotating it? It's all animation. You can't do anything
fair.
with it. Yeah, so in original, you don't even set that Indiana Jones ball off like that. You do it because there's the lab key, which I'll explain in a second. 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Or you do it for the thrill.
Yeah, I lied. There's nothing behind there. After that first one that passed, I was like, you know what? My life's not complete. Let's just do it again. Screw it. Because I'm not afraid anymore.
Oh, there you go. Say it.
There you go. All right. So, no, yeah, like in original mode, you do not want to do that. You'll lose a lot of time. Like I said, the lab key is normally up on the. I'm just gonna say this. The first floor that you enter in the lab, you have to go down the ladder once. Yeah, it's there. There's a room you have to use the computer to unlock, but since you grab the lab key now, you don't have to even go into the computer room. You know, like the whole Windows 95 dial-up internet part, like where she's like typing. You can avoid all that 90%. And I think it's beautiful because I absolutely hate that computer.
It's a bit of menuing in the PC.
Yeah, and you got to be quick. And I'm not bad at it. Don't get me wrong. It just brings me back to a terrible time in my life when dial-up internet was a thing, and
something that you'd like to forget.
Yeah. You kind of can't forget when. Nice. Okay. So we're heading to the laboratory. Okay. I think just in case, because the timer can be a little bit random, I might grab an extra clip. I think I'm not going to need it. Because I realize the handgun has a faster firing rate compared to the handgun in original. But you can quick fire too. But you want to be careful. I will not quick fire for safe strats because it will drop your animation, which will put him in a sequence to try to attack you, the tyrant coming up. You'll see. So, but just just in case, like he's taking me 12 to 13 rounds, but you know what I mean. You guys deserve a complete run, and thank you guys for supporting Games Done Quick channel. I do appreciate it. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and do that, and let's just put this back, just in case if things get a little bit tough.
I am actually just very impressed with everybody that's participated this week, just so soon after AGDQ. So thank you very much for even
No, for sure, yeah.
showing this off.
You were 100% right. You guys are awesome. All right, so right here, this dodge just involves going straight, and you get one less zombie compared to original. So here's an easier part of a range. And you already have the key, so computer room. I don't need you anymore. You thought I did, but I don't. I don't need you no more. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go into the power room. There's 3 of them total. This is when you get introduced to the chimeras. Unless you're playing the DS version. When you guys saw the mansion basement earlier, you get introduced to the chimeras earlier in that port.
These are terrifying.
Yeah, they're a little bit... They're like dancing and stuff. And they're on the ceiling.
They're on the ceiling.
They got too much... Yeah, they got too much flow,
They've
man.
had too much G Fuel.
Yeah. Well, one time I was drinking G Fuel when I was playing this part, and I had to turn off the game because too much was going on. Because I said, you know what, I'm drinking G Fuel, they're drinking G Fuel. It's probably best I don't play this anymore tonight.
Just shut it down.
Yeah, so I turned off my console and I went to bed and I slept 12 hours. After drinking G Fuel. So that's where the battery's at there. Normally it would be right before the ending scene where Brad's like, hey, I'm heading up. He doesn't say it like that. He's not like, yo, man, I'm heading up, but he's letting you know that he's getting close and, you know, it's running out of time. But the battery's close to where you need to use the battery. I kind of like this because it's so separated. Let's go back up. So yeah, the lab is super quick on any percent, and 100% is a lot of fun too. I would have considered running 100%, but any percent Jill's definitely by far my favorite category in Resident Evil 1. Here comes Barry. Ciao.
Jill! I was looking for you.
Barry.
Jill, don't be angry. I wanted you to wait for me.
Barry, don't screw up again like you did when you dropped that rope.
So this cutscene is a bit long. I would say about maybe 2 and some change. Maybe even longer. I never actually timed it, but just based off assumption here. But this is it has really good acting. And it's very good stuff, and I think you guys will enjoy it.
Wesker?
You did a fine job, Barry.
Just as I thought.
I think you should stay away from Barry, Jill. I hear that his wife and 2 daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
You are so cruel.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything.
Wonder where he heard that.
You'll be free from this world very soon, Jill.
I'm surprised he survived this long because he's wearing sunglasses.
Right?
Like, I get it walking into a building maybe to pay a parking ticket with sunglasses, but like in an infested area full of monsters and zombies, he just kind of is like whatever about it.
Just Wesker things.
So
Yeah.
convenient.
He ain't fooling
So you're a
me.
slave of Umbrella now, along with these virus monsters.
I think you misunderstand me, Jill. To me, the monsters you mentioned mean nothing. I'm going to burn all of them together with this entire laboratory.
This is what I like about the scene. It represents the nostalgia of 90s so much, where you got that bad villain kind
Go
of
up on the ground and wait there.
telling you the whole plan and scheme, explaining everything in great detail. Like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
Oh yeah, I've
Barry's such a
seen that
fool.
recently.
He'll be under the control of Umbrella forever.
How come both Umbrella and you can intimidate him by taking his family as hostages?
Umbrella? Well, I intimidated him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used him for my personal purposes, though both you and Barry seem to think I was following orders from Umbrella.
So you're planning something else?
If you succeeded in developing the world's most powerful biological weapon, what would you do? What if you were in charge?
You must stop this now.
You're a brave girl, but if I were you, I wouldn't give up such a big discovery. You guys are idiots. No one understands its real value.
So, you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet,
The Tyrant's really cool because it really stands out compared, like, that it shows that it's Capcom's own work. Because one thing I liked about Resident Evil 1 is it, like, pretty much took everybody's, fears, as a kid or even an adult. Like, people are scared of sharks, spiders, things like that, snakes, and they basically enlarge them, anything
Combined
you've
it
ever
into one super
exactly
scary game.
Yeah, it was genius, and I get why throughout the series they wanted to kind of change it up and be more innovative and create their own things. And I felt like this Tyrant has always been my favorite, because it's like Capcom's idea of something scary. Like they added their own little type of work into it and created something very, very unique.
Don't be upset.
With the big claw and all that, I think that's such an awesome feature. Because throughout the game, you just got all basic enemies, but infected or super huge compared to, like... Unless you watch the Anaconda movie, like I said, that's a different story.
I might have to after this game.
I'm already watching it on, like, my left monitor.
On your other monitor, yeah.
I totally been watching Anaconda this whole time with Jennifer Lopez while running this game. I know it's impressive, but, you gotta get a little Ice Cube action.
What? Don't come this way!
That is a very good death, though. Like, some guy got so... He was so into he got too obsessed with power and destruction, and he got... Oh, I'm
Honestly,
gonna shut up now.
That was quick.
I'm not gonna quick fire because if I drop animation, it might be kind of dangerous. But I didn't need to pick up the extra handgun rounds just in case. There he goes, he's dropped. Because his handgun's so powerful. So, the old route, grenade launcher was a thing, and then I used to switch it out with like one handgun bullet. But I realized in time, I'm like, this handgun's super powerful. Let's take advantage of it. Saves so much time. I did a couple save strats here and there because, again, I want to give you guys the full run. You deserve it, obviously. But yeah, just to pick up the extra rounds because I don't trust that Tyrant. But yeah, he's always about a 12 round. But if you quick fire him, I feel like some of the rounds can clip. So I didn't know if I was gonna get like a little too like happy and just start trying to quick fire him, but I played my cards right this entire run.
Yeah, you've been staying calm, I would say.
Yeah, I'm actually quite proud of myself that I kept cool. I couldn't have done it without you guys. So what we're gonna do now is head back upstairs since. Wait. Yep, we got everything. I just want to double check. This has happened many times where I forgot the master key, which can open up the double lab doors, which automatically unlock in Good Ending when the triggering system gets set off, whether it's by Wesker on Jill's game or Rebecca on Chris's game. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, there's nothing else. There's just Barry, which is kind of sad, so no cry.
Poor Barry.
Hi, Jill. It's you.
Barry?
His yeah, this is kind of sad, but his collar is super stretched out. World Star
Just
fight.
leave me. Go quickly.
It's over, Barry. Wesker's dead.
Is that so? Jill, will you do me a favor? This is my last wish. Please give this photo to my family. Will you?
Sure.
Forgive me, Jill.
I feel terrible now that I didn't run 100%. It only took like those 15 seconds of this cutscene to make me realize that. Did I just like get off now or just kidding?
God.
Poor guy. God, I feel like
Rip Barry.
I feel like some people were just like, not bad. And they're like, this guy's a jerk. He just killed like one of the nicest characters in the game. It is the fastest way, but I do highly recommend it. start speedrunning, always start with any percent, whether it's original or arrange. And there's a possibility that arrange might be a PC thing soon too. So it's,
Looking up.
yeah.
It's looking up for Barry.
Yep. If you guys are not happy with me saving Barry, anybody can save Barry. I saved him before, though, I promise. And I saved Chris, even though he takes up the entire hallway. I did it, I swear. I did them all. But that was a solid run. We did our save strats, but we were also we're a bit risky, and I'm happy with this, Positive over negative.
Well, of course, just let me know when you'd like me to the timer, but I know
Oh, yeah, you
we're
got
still
it.
going.
Yeah, we're still going. It's coming up, though. That's a perfect question to ask. So obviously, you don't have to run to the middle of the helipad to set off that flare. You can pick it up and set it off anywhere you want, because basically there's just a huge collision, a trigger where it's the whole square that is added to where you can set off that flare. And Brad's like, I don't even know how to fly anymore. I don't know why he's not in the center, but
Not quite sure how to land.
yeah, he's kind of like, he probably ate too much Funyuns. So he's like spinning around. I'll tell you when. All right. Time.
That's it.
How did we look on the time?
1:05:16.
That is not bad at all.
It might have been more of a 14, but close.
Yeah, no, there's something around there. So it's probably 1:05:06. I would say my world record time, but I kind of don't remember it. I still have to
Don't worry
upload
about
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, thank you so much for running this. Should we check out the ending here?
Yeah, you can see this part. No need for the credits or the IGT because it's a 10-second difference. So you guys got the idea. But yeah, this part's probably important because she's like, oh, I just left everybody. Then it kind of gives you the idea of the tyrant. Kind of like, he didn't even show up. He just didn't care. He's like, whatever.
It's like, all right, well, arrangement, I'm out.
But shout outs to Smooth Operative and the whole GDQ squad. Thank you guys for allowing me to run this category. I put a good couple months into it, changing up the route, and I hopefully, it was fun for you guys as well. Thank you for tuning in and supporting this event. It means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to everybody else. And I am going to head out now, but thank you again. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And Brando will be probably doing more arrange any percent in the future if you want to check him out on Twitch, Brando Oates. But right now we are going to get set up for our next speedrun, which is Crash Bandicoot, the final speedrun of the evening. So stick around and we'll be right back. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. We are rolling on through with Time Capsule, and right now I have Tet W ready to speedrun Crash Bandicoot with commentator White Paws. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty confident, not too nervous.
Awesome, yeah, we're keeping it casual here, everybody relax. But whenever you're ready to start, I will go ahead and start the timer for you.
Yeah, sure, I'm just on the map. I'm gonna exit to the title screen and then I'll count down from 3.
For sure.
Is also ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, we'll just do 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is Crash Bandicoot. My name's Tet W again. I am the record holder for this category, and White Paws is the any percent record holder, so this commentary should make for something pretty interesting, some good chemistry.
Yep, hello. So, alright, so this is the 100% category, and the idea is to collect all of the gems. There's a total of 20. And the way you collect all of the gems, or well, the gems in each level is by breaking all of the boxes, as you can see. This first level has this strat of getting third mask form. It's one of the few levels you'll actually see third mask form in, because it's actually very situational whether it's faster or not. So for this level in particular, there's a box bridge, as you probably saw, and you just can just run through it and break all the boxes.
It definitely feels intentional. I'm also doing movement tech called zigzagging and also spinning, but we'll explain that in the 4th level because that is a good visual aid for seeing how that works. So.
Yeah, the first few levels of the game have a lot to talk about in this category because there's this a feature the developers put in the Crash games, really, and it's not exclusive to Crash 1, but yeah, it's basically called color gems. So each level gives you like a gem, obviously, but some levels give you what we call color gems. So for example, a green gem. These gems spawns platforms on certain levels. For example, in here, the green gem would spawn a green platform to get some boxes that are otherwise out of reach.
Yep, like so.
Yep. But this is what we call jungle roller skip. You can get those boxes that are out of reach by essentially knowing the layout. Like, it's not really a glitch. You just get up there, know more or less where the bouncy crates are, and you can get up there, get the 3 boxes, and complete the level 100% without having to revisit it later.
Yeah, that's a skip. You do have to put in some time to learn it, but once you learn it, you can definitely do it no matter what skill you're at in the game. At least it's only the 2nd level, so. And so far, so good. The next level also has a revisit skip. You're supposed to have the yellow gem.
Yep, the yellow gem is literally the last color gem you get. Well, not really, because you get it last out. So no, never mind. It's in the last level though. But yeah, so you get it really, really late. But there's a really easy skip, thankfully, that you can do. So basically, you need to towards more or less the end of the 90% path, and then you'd damage abuse on a spike and get kind of out of bounds and go over the portal. You'll see it in a second.
Yeah, there's a few different cycles you can get here. They're global, and we'll talk about that later. There's some cycles you can get here that are really risky. So if I get that kind of cycle, I will wait. And I'm actually getting it now, so I am going to wait because it's kind of precise to squeeze in between this turtle and the spike there. All right, we're good.
Yep. Okay, so Grey Gate Escape. This is actually the newer method. Well, newer because this has been around for like a while now, probably 4 years. But yeah, there was an old method that you could do which required you jumping on the portal for 1 pixel, and then yeah, it was really, really dumb.
Yeah, and thankfully, yeah, we have the current method, which is the easiest of all the revisit skips, and anyone can learn it. We have tutorials on them.
For sure. Definitely.
There's a hidden box back there, by the way. It's really weird. Alright, so I'm actually keeping this mask right here. I need it for upstream skip, which is another revisit skip. That one's the hardest one. I can't guarantee I'll get it. It's not a big deal if I don't get it.
Yeah, so there's 4 levels that have skips to them. It's Jungle Rollers, Great Gate Upstream, and Cortex Power. And the first 2 are definitely the easiest ones. Definitely suggest any newcomers to learn those 2. For sure. Upstream and Cortex Power are a bit trickier.
Yeah, for sure. So here we have the 4th level. This is a perfect level for showing off the movement, which is zigzagging and spinning. Now, this boulder is supposed to be on your tail pretty much the whole level. And if you bump into a couple things, it'll crush you and kill you. But with zigzagging, zigzagging has a really in-depth and complicated explanation for it. But the simplest way to describe it is just alternating diagonals based on the direction in which you're going. So I'm going down, so I'm trying to alternate down left and down right as much as possible, and that makes you go faster for some reason. And I can get so far away from the boulder that it's not even close to a threat anymore. And also, you want to spin as much as possible, mainly starting your spin in the air and having it connect to the ground, which extends how many frames the spin lasts and is therefore faster.
Yeah, the spin is kind of weird because, of course, talking about how long the frames last. If you spin on the ground, like just on the ground, it lasts for 24 frames. If you do what Ted just said, it lasts 8, and if you spin just in the air, it lasts for 14. So definitely wanna do what Ted said, like connecting into the ground after a jump.
And on the other hand, actually had the shortest spin possible in the air, 14 frames. That's actually abused for some box strats and stuff later on. So yeah, the spin is really interesting in this game. It makes for some interesting ways to play. Like that there, I did an air spin on that top box to land on the bottom one. Anyways, this level is a skip. It's hard. It's very difficult. Not as difficult anymore. You can get it really consistent, but it's still hard to the point where if I don't get in a marathon, it's not the end of the world.
So there's two parts to this game. If the first one requires a submarine jump, we'll explain what submarine jumps are later on. But yeah, you use that to get a box that's here. You probably didn't see a box, but yeah, it's down there. And the second part is...
Easy clap.
No way.
Yep. Tap left.
Oh my God.
Tap left, boys. We're tapping left. Yeah, so that's what I just did right there is a huge pain to do. It's very precise, and you only have a few seconds to set it up because the lily pad falls.
That's sick. That trick is ridiculously hard, by the way. It's pixel perfect on a 3D game, so...
Yeah, like for reference, when I do attempts of this game, there would sometimes back in the day be streams. I would stream for 3 hours and not get past that level once because of that skip.
Yeah, it's a huge reset point. It's a little bit more consistent, more or less, but it's still a pixel perfect trick, so yeah. So how that works is essentially... walls in this game have this weird property of like repeating certain patterns, right? So if you jump where like there's like the repeat between a wall and then another wall, there's a pixel that you can clip in and go up, and that's what you do to get out of bounds. It's it's really hard. You'll see something like that in Cortex Power as well.
So this is the first level where we can't get all the boxes on the first pass, so I am avoiding the boxes on purpose, don't worry.
Yep.
There's no skip for this level.
Also, something important about Upstream Escape, it saves like...
50 seconds to a minute, maybe?
Yeah, roughly, like 50 to a minute.
I do have the chat open, I look at it. I have to turn around to look at it with my setup, so I can't. And it's GDQ chat, so I can't read all of it.
Yeah.
I am dropping some frames due to, I don't know what's going on with my internet. I don't know, it might be the weather or something, but maybe I'll try lowering my bitrate in a loading screen or something.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I hope it's not too bad though. But the run's going fabulous so far, actually. Waiting on that Cyclone Great Gate and getting hit on Papu, that's about the worst so far.
Oh yeah, in the Japanese version they changed some stuff. Well, now maybe a good time to talk about the Japanese version. But yeah, we played the Japanese version essentially because you can do Road to Nowhere in the first. So they swapped a lot of stuff for the Japanese version for some reason. Like they gave Papu 2 extra hits because they thought Papu was hard. I don't know. I mean easy, so they just gave it 2 extra hits for no reason.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, here's Hogwild. This game doesn't have many autoscrollers, but this is one of them. There's not really any speed tech in these levels.
Yeah, no way to spread that.
Boxes, pretty much.
And continuing with the J thing, they put the green gem in here.
Yeah.
And they put in the red gem in Lost City, which is way earlier than you get in the NT.
Yeah. And the red gem thing is why the Japanese version is faster for 100%. I've been focusing, so I don't know if you've talked about that yet, but if not, well...
Yeah, that's why. I didn't exactly say why, so...
Yeah, there's tons of time to explain it. As for the time capsule stuff, we're going to talk about that more into the backtracking part of the run, which is at the end, because there's less stuff to talk about with the actual game.
Yep.
We did some practice commentary.
Oh sure, I'm sure we'll get to what the game means to you and your history behind it. No rush. We got time.
Alright, so this is Native Fortress. This is another level where we cannot get all the boxes on the first pass, but this is actually a pretty cool level. It's really difficult for being the 8th level in the game. Even casually, it's pretty difficult. But yeah, we will come back to this level at pretty much the end of the run.
Yeah, this is a good level to talk about how cycles work. Not sure if you want to explain more or less.
Maybe we'll talk about the out of bounds first.
Oh,
but
okay.
or I guess we don't have to talk about it much. It's the same thing as Great Gate, pretty much, the skip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might as well talk about it. Submarine jump there.
Oh, submarine jumps, actually for... Yeah, I said I was going to explain
get
that.
this checkpoint for safety.
May as well do that. So a submarine jump is a jump in... yeah, so the game thinks you are still on the ground if you spin off a ledge for about 10 frames after the spin animation is done. So yeah, you have about that much to input a jump. You cannot actually buffer the jump. Otherwise, it drops it, you get no jump. But it's not too tricky, it's honestly something everyone should learn.
Yeah, so zigzagging along, your spin can cancel bounces off pretty much anything, like also bouncy crates, these torches as well. You can't jump over that flame, but it felt a little weird, so didn't want to risk it. This is a pretty good run, definitely PB/record pace.
Also, spinning gives you some invincibility frames, which you can use as at your advantage. My god, I cannot speak help.
Yeah, I'll maybe try and lower my bitrate after the up the creek, because I have a gem screen.
Yeah, so cycles in this game. There's 3 types of cycles. The biggest cycles that you'll see are, like, most of the time are set on a global timer. So we call these global cycles. There's actually working, like, all the time since turning on the game. So, yeah, you'd see a lot of them around. So that's why the only way to reset those cycles is by dying.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you'd see some intentional death abuses later on in the run to reset the cycles and set them to more to cycles that you can predict anyway.
Yeah, you can get some levels down to a scripted, like just a scripted playthrough.
Yeah, there are 2 types of cycles. One of them you can actually see here, which are the spawn cycles. They trigger once Crash is close to them, so like these leaves that are moving back and forth and the plants that eat you, like the blue plants, they're set on spawn cycles. And then the local cycles, there's only one example. It's in Castle Machinery, we'll talk about it later, but it's essentially a cycle that triggers once you enter a level.
Yeah, the local cycle is a really rare one. It's pretty much just the Castle Machinery cycle that we'll see later, and the water in Tomb Raider and Crash 3 is also local. That level had a couple things in it, some camera stuff to make a plant not trigger, or plant trigger at a better time, and going back for boxes that spawn with a switch crate. But some pretty self-explanatory stuff. Definitely, one of the most jam-packed parts of the run is pretty much all of Island 3. There's a lot of really cool and fun levels to watch, and a lot of difficult levels. Alright, so second boss, Ripperoo. Again, the bosses in Crash in general are all pretty easy. This one's fully scripted with the TNTs. But since the boss does spawn us with 2 masks, we are gonna use that to our advantage and use the masks to blow up the TNTs earlier and not have to take damage. And there you can quote-unquote die in the water, but you'll actually survive because the death gets cancelled out by the winning animation or whatever. You can do the same with bonus rounds, actually.
Big swag.
Yeah, it's actually really easy to do that. Alright, this level has a respawn cycle at the start, so that death at the start was intentional to reset all the cycles in this level. Oh! Okay, that's pretty unlucky. That's a small death, though. It's that's you can actually go out of bounds by doing that, but that's only a 90%. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Oh, you got the cliff. That's epic.
Yeah. At least it was at the start. That's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go out of bounds by doing that.
Yeah, you just keep jumping up and you can go out of bounds.
But yeah, this all was pretty hard.
Yeah.
Definitely tricky.
I think it's harder in 90%, but it's still definitely a level you can chew. Just because the bats kind of suck, and sometimes jumping around the pushers, like they sometimes have these weird invisible walls.
There's a strat later on, call it the pulver jumps. It's pretty tricky too. It's necessary to keep up with the cycle.
Yeah, you can jump on the boards while they're in the wall. It's 3 frames, and you also have to do it while you're turning around. You can kind of buffer it. Let's see if I get them here. Okay, I got the first one.
Nice.
Second one, nice, good stuff. I have a bad history with those because I used to play on emulator, which had bad input delay, and then when I switched to console, I was still on a LCD TV, and now I'm on a CRT. I think I'm really starting to get used to the CRT now for that. But yeah, I made it so I always struggled to kind of get really some muscle memory down for those. And you do different ones in each category, so you gotta practice different ones. Luckily, you only have to do 2 in this category. With the bats, they can actually hurt you. Even if you're spinning inside them, if too many are in your hitbox, you gotta watch out for that. That switch box at the end spawns those boxes, but they break automatically for some reason, but we'll take it.
Also, if you somehow miss the last box, there's a backup for it. It's slow, but at least you wouldn't have to restart the level.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we got the red gem, which again is relevant to why we're using the Japanese version, because it makes it so we won't have to revisit a later level.
Yeah.
So in this level I can explain, and the next level I can explain TNT shenanigans. Oh, I messed up my cycle, whatever. So in Crash 1, 2, and 3 actually, not so much in any other Crash game really, you can blow up TNTs, but also not get hurt by them with some little timing. It's actually not too precise, anyone can learn it. There's a few different ways you can do it. You can spin and bounce off it, you can fall in front of it and spin it and turn around. It's really cool. It always looks cool. There's a lot more of it later in the run.
Yeah, definitely is a pretty cool tech. It's pretty lenient. Jeez. For some reason they made the TNT hitbox just spanned out words very slowly. So
yeah. You can also kind of do it with nitros in Crash 3. That's more precise, but it's actually only in Crash 3, not in Crash 2. Alright, so there I did something minor. I moved a bit to the right before getting those 2 crates. And that was to trigger the flame, so the flame wouldn't be going by the time I stepped on it.
Also, as you probably noticed, Teft walked like literally in thin air and some platforms spawned. That's literally him cheating, so...
Yeah, I got that. I'm gonna need that vac real soon.
Now, for some reason, this game has... Like, the developers of this game, both Andy Gavin and Jason Ruin, had like a fetish of like hiding stuff in, like, I don't know, I don't... I have no explanation to say what were these secrets where there's barely anything.
Yeah, it's just old games, I guess. Just have a lot of that.
Yeah, may as well use like some guide or something. Like, I guess the hint there is one Wumpa fruit like in the air, and you're like, oh, why is it there? I'm gonna grab that Wumpa fruit, and then it's like a platform. You're like, oh, obviously.
I always think of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, only because the boulder is clearly also based off Indiana Jones, and it's also in a temple, so it just makes you think of that every time, the leap of faith. Anyways, so yeah, the red gem path, you can't get this on this visit in the other versions, so this is why we use Japanese. Oops. Okay, I wasn't supposed to get hit by that, but whatever, you can do this path in a different way. Just get this mask for safety. Some marathon safe stuff I'm doing, but not too much.
This path we like kind of break it too.
Yeah, with the TNT stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely
even more so if I didn't screw up the first thing, but that's fine.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely not the way of the intended way, anyway.
So actually, I had someone in my chat a couple days ago ask about walking on the ropes, and that is a thing you can do, but it's not faster. You want to explain why?
Yeah, so essentially the ropes have a very small platform. Like, it's a very small platform. So first of all, if you just walk on the ropes, you make it just slide off. And second, it's very hard to zigzag, to not say like impossible to zigzag on those ropes without falling off. And zigzag is just so much faster. It's not worth. And also, again, just some leaps of faith here, because gamers were meant to just found this or find this.
Yeah. Yeah, that level Road to Nowhere, I looked a bit at the chat, and yeah, that level is really hard. I had a lot of trouble with that level as a kid, and I actually didn't get past Sunset Vista either. It's a pretty hard game. Something with the bridge levels is that the zigzagging makes it, I don't want to say easier, but it does. I feel like it does kind of break them in some kind of sense. Just because you can make a lot of big jumps, you don't have to deal with the turtles. And also, just before I forget, this is one of the last levels where we can't get all the boxes on the first pass. So I will be doing like a any percent pass first.
Yeah, there's not much to this except that Ted's thumb is probably getting destroyed right now. Downward zigzagging hurts, like.
Yeah, it definitely aches.
This is on endurance because this level's pretty.
Yeah, this level's really long for some reason. Yeah, so this level you're supposed to come back with the purple gem. It's actually it's the last gem we'll get in the run.
Yeah, it is the last one, and Lights Out. Nice.
Yeah, so again, the zigzag really breaking this level. The boulder's almost non-existent. And the spinning as well, of course. Spinning on the ground, making the spins last as long as possible.
Oh, also, the spins have this sort of property to that, which is the spin timer. So you essentially start with 6 spins. It almost works like a meter. So you have 6, like a meter with 6 divisions, right? Those are your spins. Every time you spin, one of them gets removed. And then it takes 2 seconds for that one to recharge. If you spin like 6 times in a row, Crash will like do this weird sound. I don't know, that won't let you spin. Yeah, this is the game that a mechanic like that. Crash 2 and 3 have something similar, but not quite the same.
Yeah, in Crash 2, it's more a spin timer between each spin, not so much X amount of spins you can do that have to recharge.
Yeah. Also, yeah, this is Slippery Climb. We literally wrong warped, so we will just do the rest of the game later. No, this is another difference between Japanese and NTSCU. They put in Slippery Climb earlier than Sunset, I think.
Oh, I messed up.
Because they thought maybe Sunset was harder, which honestly, do I agree?
Yeah, it's definitely too long of a level to have that early, probably. Because I didn't get past Sunset as a kid, like I said. And also the really outdated saving system this game has, which you don't see in speedruns because we don't need to save, obviously. But where I had to do like Road to Nowhere, Boulder Dash, and then try and beat Sunset Vista. Road to Nowhere is really hard casually. Alright, these stairs, I think I know what they're gonna do. Yeah, they're glitched. Oh no, they weren't quite glitched. Those stairs are definitely something I'll play safe.
Oh yeah. Some stairs in this level can just get glitched depending on how fast you go. It's kind of dumb, but some goes well on, goes well for our advantage, which is nice. You can just take advantage of that.
Let's see if I make that. Nope, not quite. That cycle's a bit tricky to make in this category. Here, I'm gonna try. Oh, I almost overshot that. That scared me. Try and break these boxes and get back on the platform. Otherwise, you'd have to wait, and I got it. And troll scientist at the end here. It's no problem for us. And we're good to go. The game's in Japanese because they moved a color gem to a level before Road to Nowhere. So that means we can do Road to Nowhere in one visit. And hello, everyone in chat. This is in English for me.
Also, apparently, Jap allows you to road to the Road to Nowhere in the first visit and said your message wasn't posted due to conflicts with the channel moderator. Help.
Alright, so we have the third boss, Koalakong. This game does not have much RNG, and generally Crash games don't, unless it's like Bash or something. But how much he steps to the left, like our left, before throwing the last rock is RNG. And we can't really you can't really manipulate it unless you're TAS, because like every input you do manipulates it.
Oh, that's a good first aid though.
Yeah, it's going good so far. The minecarts are scripted, and so are the TNTs.
Yeah. There was one point at AG where we like 3 hours in this fight, just trying to figure it out. Not much came out of that. It's just really hard.
Yeah, definitely. Like at the point where any percent is in this game now, it's really, it really does affect the run if you get like a few seconds lost here. So it would be neat to find something. The Insane Trilogy has a skip you can do here where you go. I think you like damage boost off a rock, then you go over and you spin him. I don't think that would work here. Like this game doesn't really work like that, but who knows? There could be always something.
If someone wants to find that, please.
Yeah, spinning the rocks in the air, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. It's just like what I do.
I wanna point out that Ted Bash banned from his channel.
Yeah, Bash is a game, but actually I made, you know, the channel points thing Twitch introduced? I made it so if you use like 1 million of the channel points, I'll do Bash 200% blindfolded.
Yeah, so everyone in the chat, you better go into Ted's stream and save those points so we can see Bash 200% blindfold. Okay, so this is Hey Machinery.
Back on topic.
Hey Machinery. You may have seen something at the beginning, which was like a 3D use. So it's essentially get them faster. Otherwise, you were supposed to like somehow tell there were 2 enemies down there and then jump into a hole, like into a pit, because yes.
Yeah, so that strat, that's actually the first big mistake so far, so honestly that's not a big deal, but that submarine jump isn't like a basic submarine jump in Zigzag. There's like invisible walls you gotta wait for. I was considering waiting for it, and I probably should have, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah, that submarine jump, yes, that's very tricky, so it's very easy to mess up. It could save a cycle, so it could save precious seconds, but
yeah, it's not that important.
Tricky.
There's a cooler sub jump later in the level anyway. That's way more flashy and saves more time. So yeah, I won't go for it again. I probably won't go for that in a marathon again, actually. Just because, I don't know, it's just... My left zigzag also lately hasn't been super good, and you need it nice and straight for that strat.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing is like... You saw Ted hit a checkpoint, but he re-entered the level. The thing is that in this game, there's this artificial difficulty where if you die and you're trying to 100% level, you have to. So, gaming.
Yeah, so like this whole run, except for those levels where we have to revisit them and bosses have had to also do them deathless, except for the start, which is why we can death abuse at the start to reset.
Yeah, in theory, you don't have to re-enter. You could backtrack and get all of the boxes.
Yeah,
by
yeah. They actually, in Japanese version, you can actually go back and break the boxes again, but it's never faster anywhere.
Yeah.
It would be interesting if it was faster as a backup or something.
This
okay,
is
pretty cool.
This is a Yeah, submarine jump, or the submarine jump you just saw is pretty cool. It's damage of use and all that stuff. And the strat at the end, sick. So essentially, when you spin, Crash's hitbox just gets extended a little bit, just enough so you can hit those bouncy pads fast and go up like at 1 trillion kilometers per hour.
Yeah. Alright, so I don't think we've actually talked about spin invincibility, have we?
Oh, I don't think so, no.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, but if you want to explain, you can go ahead.
Sure. So, if you spin, you get some invincibility frames. You can use that to your advantage to get past these lasers, for example. Or spikes, spears, some other hazards that are like that.
Yeah, it's definitely the nicest for the lasers.
Yeah.
Like in this level. Anyways, this level has the last revisit skip. And there's a lot to talk about with it. A lot's gonna happen very shortly. So,
yeah, so just like
we'll try and explain it.
Just like upstream, there's two parts. There's the entrance and then the exit. You did the blue gem originally, but
no.
So for the entrance, if you remember how it looked like back in upstream, how the walls have like this weird property where you can clip in, well, we use that same concept and get out of bounds. We wrong warp, it's the only wrong warp in the game. And
I'll have to watch that blow up.
Yeah. And then the exit. There's a lot of history, we'll probably talk about it later on as well.
Yeah.
Because
we'll talk about it in the time capsule part at the end as well.
Yeah, but essentially what Ted tries to do is line up Crash's ear. Listen, well, Crash's ear until there's no more yellow. Then you would pause the game and hold app left so you don't press anything accidentally, and then submarine jump off a pixel that's on the wall.
Yeah, it's the setup is really weird, but it works.
Yeah, so it was random for a lot, but yeah, we'll talk about it later. But that setup works perfectly fine. Ted found that, and with the help of a tasker called the 8-bit Beast.
Yeah, shoutouts to everyone who worked hard to try and get that skip to where it is today, because it used to be a major pain, really inconsistent till we had that set up for some reason. Something with camera or whatever, or maybe lag, I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright, another intentional death at the start to reset the cycle, saves a couple seconds. And also, back there, I tried a TNT strat in the blue gem path, where I spun it, but I failed it. I couldn't have just gone away and let the boxes blow up, because if the boxes aren't loaded, they actually won't be blown up by the TNT. So I had to watch them blow up or have them be close to me.
Yeah, this game is epic in that regard. That's why we TNT spin a lot, so we don't have to wait for TNTs to explode.
Yeah, in Crash 2 they kind of changed it where like certain TNTs are actually programmed to blow up boxes. Also, that's unfortunate. Again, this run's still super good, so that doesn't really matter. That strat. The thing is with that strat, it's actually not that difficult, but this setup for it is different in each category, and I've ran both a decent amount in the last while, so I won't go for it again probably. But yeah, you can kind of see what I was trying to do. It's a blind submarine jump. Yeah, I just need to. It's a bit harder to line up that one than in any percent. Also, I feel. Like just
in any percent? I don't know.
Any percent, I think it's easier in any percent personally.
Oh yeah, it is definitely easier. I was about to say. I was like, no, it's not harder in any.
Yeah, no. For sure. Yeah, it's off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't go for it again. That's fine.
That's alright.
Yeah, it's still a really good run. I think it might have been still close to PB pace before Heavy Machinery, which for a marathon is super good. I'm mainly glad I got upstream skip.
Upstream for sure. That definitely makes up for the deaths.
And I haven't gotten stuck in a level. You can easily get stuck in the level with having to re-enter it. Yeah, again, shenanigans with stuff not being loaded. I wanted to make sure those both blew up. I'm supposed to like kind of do it like a TNT spin off them, and they usually both blow up as well, but I wanted to try a backup where you spin the camera robot into the TNTs. and that didn't work either. So I just wanted to go and make sure they both blew up.
Yeah, there was one time where I got it happen where the TNTs just didn't blow up, and I missed a box. Yes.
Yeah, it's yeah. Also, I'm
They-
gonna try and lower my bit rate 'cause I'm dropping my frames. Oh no, I probably can.
Yeah, there's a strat you can do at the end of generator room. It's called Red Hot Strat. So basically, you can jump on some scenery and avoid riding the last platform. But it's tricky, decently tricky. Saves very little time. The risk versus reward is not really worth it. So we don't do it in Hondo yet. Anyway.
Yeah. I tried to strat at the start, I failed it, but I guess you can't really tell.
Oh, the dang.
You can do a bunch of spin jumps off those boxes, and it looks pretty cool. It's kind of precise, though.
Yeah, so this level's tricky because your zigzag may just kill you.
Yeah, you'd think this would be like a breather level, but it really isn't with the zigzag because it's not super easy to keep your zigzag straight for this long. Like you can easily just veer off the side and die, and no matter how good you are at the game, it happens to every runner pretty much.
Also, a reminder that the gen room gem is actually a muffin.
Yeah, that's why they got rid of it in Crash 2 and 3, because it was a food and not a gem. I mean, look at it, it's literally a muffin.
Andy Gavin ate it.
Yeah, and posted it on Twitter.
Yeah, the orange gem is... This is the only game that has the orange gem. For some reason. The Muffin Man.
Alright, so second to last boss, because we don't fight Cortex in this category, because we don't have to. Pinstripe, again, all scripted, but we actually, the first time he's vulnerable, right there, we're not going to hit him right away, which is actually faster, because he does less jumping around later in the fight. And actually, the TAS doesn't do that. No TAS of this game actually does that strat. So if you've ever wanted to be faster than TAS, literally, just do what I do in this level. Faster than TAS.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I went to see, like, Pirohiko's TAS, and he just didn't do it, and I was like, oh, that's weird, maybe it is faster, and then I tried it, and I just lost, like, 3 seconds, and I was like, well...
Yeah, so I'm actually damage boosting also to, sorry for the interruption, kind of cut out for me, but, I damage boost on Pinstripe to get to him faster, to get like a frame perfect hit on him, or at least try to.
Also, Pinstripe's aim is like me when I play Call of Duty, TVH.
Yeah, it's that Stormtrooper aim for sure. Alright, High Road, hardest level in video game history, literally, Kaizo tier. Gets kind of broken by zigzag.
Obviously.
Yeah, according to... Yeah.
To every magazine, every gaming magazine ever.
Yeah, this level has kind of a gimmick with the turtles. You're supposed to flip them over and bounce off them to get over the holes, but with zigzagging and submarine jumping also, the thing where you jump in the air with a spin. You just avoid having to do that.
Yeah, they also cut out this level, like, for some reason. Can someone actually explain me why? Did they really think it was too hard?
Yeah, so this level is shorter on this version. It right here is supposed to be the 4th checkpoint, but it's just the end of the level. I mean, the level is pretty hard, but they cut out probably the easiest part of the level, so it's kind of strange.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Road to Nowhere is still hard.
TVH in their remakes, this level is like decently hard, honestly.
Yeah, I struggled to get the Platinum Relic in this level in the remake, just because I found the jump really weird. Mainly just in that level in Stormy Ascent.
Yeah.
And
I also...
go ahead.
As an original runner, you want to zigzag, but... Spoiler, you cannot zigzag in the remakes. Well, you can, but it's slow when you die.
Yeah, you just die if it happens. Anyways, yeah, intentional death at the start, very important in this level, because it resets all the cycles, and this level's like almost 4 minutes long, and cycles like on screen constantly. And at the start, you might think I missed the box or I forgot to get it, but that was actually to manipulate the flame. So by the time I had to actually bypass the flame, it wasn't going.
Yeah. this all can desync its cycles, so the depth of use is also decently useful because it makes the cycles consistent. Which is pretty nice.
Yeah, somehow in the localization of this game, when they switch spots of slippery climb in this level, I guess somehow the cycles get messed up, but dying at the start fixes that, and the logic behind it is that since the cycles get reset, they don't have time to desync. So I think also if you had died in Road to Nowhere, the cycles also wouldn't desync probably. Maybe not till the end or something.
Maybe not.
But yeah, that death at the start also happens to give you some decently fast cycles. It can save like 30 seconds over globals. So like pre late 2016, we did this level on global cycles, and it sucked.
Yeah,
it's a very scary level with the desyncing cycles. Some cycles you have a very small window to get through if they're desynced, or you just have to wait on them for like a year.
This all, as Ted said earlier, is really long. It's probably one of the longest in the trilogy, if not the longest in like the intended path. So like, it's a very scary level. You die and you like die IRL, I think. But thankfully with the cycles, it's probably one of the easier levels now.
Yeah, for top runners, this level isn't so bad until we introduce harder strats, which do exist for the third floor. I do want to try those out, see how difficult they are. There's some faster cycles you can catch up here on the top floor. Shoutouts to a literal sandwich for finding that, and also everything in Castle Tunnel, pretty much, which are pretty cool.
Literally a sandwich.
Yeah, an actual sandwich found it. Can you believe it? This is the Cortex bonus round. You get a key for finishing this bonus, which gives you, unlocks a secret level. I couldn't talk because I got scared, and I was too scared to jump around the boxes now, so I'm not doing that.
Fair, TH.
I got a key there. It didn't make the sound because of lag, but I did get the key. So.
Yeah. So this is the first out of 2 keys. It unlocks an extra level, which we'll do later on the revisits.
Yeah, only 2 keys.
Yeah.
Any other bonuses we don't have to do. There's the Tana ones, which is the blonde like girl token. That one saves your game, so you don't need those. And there's Brio bonuses, which I guess are just like a challenge, and they give you extra lives, but they don't give you anything else. So.
Yeah. Also, this game has a very peculiar saving system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of the strangest saving systems in a game.
So yeah, like, you'd save by either completing a bonus or finishing a level with a gem, but it's like they save different things. So if you get the gem, for example, and you save, it saves your gem progress, which means that if you gain more, you have to start from the beginning because you didn't save level progress. That's saved by Tana tokens. And you just have the gems. Like, every time you beat a level, you have the gems already, but you have to start from the beginning. It's really stupid.
Yeah, it's the same with keys. So on Island 3, if you had game over but you saved after getting a key, you would see like fumbling in the dark, ready to play, but not being able to get to it because everything else is locked still. It's really epic. Obviously, all of that was gone in the remake because that would not stand today.
Yeah. What's also even more epic is that you can crash while saving the game, which is a good job.
Yeah, there's a soft lock that can happen in the Tana bonuses. Thankfully, not in the Cortex bonuses. This would suck to run.
Yeah.
It happened to me casually as well, so it's very common.
Yeah, lights out. Not sure if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, so this is the last level where we can't get all the boxes on the first pass. The yellow gem path is about there. But every other level after this, besides the Great Hall, which is the ending, and the Brio boss fight, will be getting a gem. You can spin through the pendulums like that. It kind of sucks sometimes with the pendulums, because as we said earlier, your spin lasts for less frames in the air, so sometimes you'll still get hit, because they're Their hitboxes are not bad necessarily, they're just a weird shape, you know?
Yeah.
Another intentional death at the start here to reset the cycles.
Yeah, Jaws of Darkness is a tricky level. It has a cycle. We call it the God Cycle, and it's fast.
Yeah.
But you have to let out fairly well. It's decently hard, so definitely a lot of practice goes into it.
Yeah, I actually hadn't really implemented it, but when I got the current world record, but next PB will definitely have it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing with this level is that it's a giant hole. Like every platform is tiny in this level, you know what I mean? Like that's the
Yeah,
biggest
for
thing.
sure.
It's the same thing with Gen Room.
Yeah. This level also has the second vortex. Yes, the second
Vortex.
Vortex Cortex. The second Cortex bonus that we'll get.
Off-screen box there, by the way. Peak game design.
Yep. The fetish to hide stuff continues.
Pretty much everyone I see do a blind playthrough of this game misses that box. Unless, like, someone tells them about it. Anyways, you get this invincibility for that big group of boxes, and also that TNT. That TNT, I don't think it really has a really good strat for it, so that's especially where it's helpful. I'm actually missing the cycle. Oh, nope, I still got it.
Nice.
I didn't zigzag super hard in the gem path to play it safe, because it's easy to veer off like Intoxic. Anyways.
There's a big troll.
Yeah, the big troll. We were both about to talk about the same thing. If you spin that snake into that group of boxes, it will blow up the token and you can't get it. Like, what is that?
Yeah, who thought about that, actually?
That's why I bounced on it. You can either bounce on it or just spin it away. Anyways, sequence break in this bonus. You're supposed to make a bridge, but I don't like bridges, so I'm just doing that. Submarine jump. And last key. And again, you don't need boxes in the bonuses, so it's fine that I missed those. Alright, the ending here is another thing I'm going to play safe because it's a marathon. It's really easy to die here, and I still haven't practiced it that much. There's some faster stuff you can do. This is still a pretty good run, so...
Also, I don't understand why Cortex just is there and just leaves a key. Doesn't he have, like, a flying scooters thing that he can just run and not even leave the key? Is he just, like, that careless?
Typical video game villain, I guess.
No wonder he gets bodied.
Yeah. He should maybe consider leaving it making it stuck on the floor every time. Which is a glitch that can happen. It's super rare. But yeah, the key can spawn on the floor and you're pretty much soft-locked.
Oh. Castle Machinery, the one example of a local cycle.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So yeah, there's a big cycle at the end. It starts moving when you start in the level. Cycles in most games are like that, but most stuff here is global. But the cycle at the end here is an exception. So we got the gimmick with the speedrun of this level is play fast enough to be able to catch the fastest cycle there. Strat there. Strat here. Oh, I got it. Nice. Shoutouts to Burger for those strats. Galaxy Brain strats, absolute like.
Burger? I thought it was
2000 IQ. Oh yeah. Sandwich Plane's the sequel. If a sandwich can find strats like that, anyone can.
Of course.
There's still more strats to come.
Yeah.
It's a fancy box bridge method that I'm kind of scared of, but hopefully it's fine.
You'll kill it, I'm sure. Burgers with the no problem tab.
Yeah, for real though, the fastest cycle here saves like 10 seconds over the second fastest cycle, which is what we went for at the time with the current record. So it's definitely really huge. It'll make getting 102 way easier. Nice. Flawless.
Yeah.
I did play some of the movement safe, which you probably can't even tell, but... So I don't know if I'll get this. Oh, I did get it. Nice. God Cycle in the marathon. Let's go.
Nice. So the Vox Bridge definitely has some strats to it. This is definitely a fast strat, definitely tricky, but kind of safe at the same time, and it allows you to get the cycle at the end.
Yeah.
And it saves a lot. It saves like 12 seconds or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that went well, because that's, yeah. It's not the worst thing ever, but I still needed a lot of practice to get down all the strats in that level, especially the new stuff at the beginning with the bounce off the spike and stuff, because it's, for some reason, that strat's trickier than it should be. Anyways, last boss fight, because we don't fight Cortex, because we get a different ending for 100%. Again, very scripted. He throws these slimes, and for some reason, when you kill the slimes, it does damage to him. It's different in the Insane Trilogy, because they like squirt stuff at him when you kill them. But here, they just make him super angry, I guess, or something. Yeah, like take years off his life for the stress from his slimes being killed or something, I don't know.
I don't even know what those slimes are. Like,
they stop bouncing after a while too, which is, I don't know if that's why you do it. Anyways, yeah, he turns into the Hulk there, and that's how you defeat him at the end.
Does he become like a giant slime or something? Is that the idea? I mean, it's Hulk. I guess Hulk is a giant slime.
Hulk didn't work out for him too well, so he goes for Tending Bar instead.
He also just falls through a window, by the way.
Anyways, the last level before backtracks.
Yep. One nice thing about the NTSCJ version is that it gives you a mask here. Which is a lot nicer.
Yeah, this level is pretty scary without a mask for 100% on the other versions. Just because a lot of stuff that can kill you.
Yep.
It's a hard level casually too, especially if you're not spinning through the electricity. That eliminates some of the puzzles. There I spin that scientist and he goes into a group of TNTs that you don't even see because they're gone. It also opens the door.
Yeah. Also, you go around these scientists that are like, am I a joke to you? Yeah, also, like, why did Cortex hire these scientists? Like, why? Are they just... is their job just stay there for, like, an eternity?
Yeah.
And, like...
It's like turtles running left and right in Mario games for their whole life.
Poor scientists. I wonder how much they get paid for doing that. Do they get fired if they just...
I guess they get deactivated because they're robots in Crash 3.
Robots have feelings, TVH. But yeah, this is the backtracking, so definitely talk about the Speed Games history.
Oh yeah, it's that time, yeah. So me and Paz have been running this game for kind of close to the same amount of time. I started speedrunning in 2015, and he started kind of late 2014, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And so we haven't been around to experience this game's whole history, because there's speedruns of this game that go back all the way to like 2010. But we were able to experience like this big shift in how this game was ran and how it was played. I'd say around 2016, 2017 is when the speedrun started to become more like how it is now, with playing really aggressively, going fast, and not having it be just trying to take off the amount of deaths in the run, more about getting the fastest cycles, the fastest strats. Oh, okay, I pulled a Koji. Speaking of the history of this game, I guess you can't talk about the history of this game without pulling a Kojiro, because Kojiro did that once in one of his really early Hundo PBs.
Wait, did you jump off?
I undershot the tower, so I died in one of the death triggers in the tower. That's fine.
Damn.
At least this is a short level, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's alright. The only reason why there's not a skip in this level, actually, that reminds me, is because there's a billion death triggers going up that tower for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, and the camera wouldn't follow you, so it probably wouldn't be loaded as well.
Camera wouldn't follow you. So yeah, this level is pretty rip when it comes to skip. But yeah, going back to the history, as that said, definitely 2016 and 2017. talking about Koji,
Mm-hmm.
definitely was the man that like changed the speedrun.
Yeah.
He started doing any percent at first. Took the record from, not sure. I think it was Whip at the time.
Yeah,
44
yeah,
something.
Whip, and then Red Hot took it, and then he beat Red Hot and had it until White Paws beat him.
Yeah, he had it for a while. Had it for like 2 years, and he was just so ahead of his time, just implementing new cycles, new strats all the time, and everyone took a little bit of more time to catch up, but he definitely like made major improvements to 20%, and then he took Hondo and he got the record with like 1 billion deaths, like at first, took it from Kane. It was like
Intentional death here, by the way.
It was like a low 112 at first. Then he lowered it to a 109, then to a 107, then to a 105. The 105 time was very cursed.
Yeah, me, White Paws, and Rex were trying to beat that record for quite a while. At least me, I was trying to beat it for several months, and it was just so cursed. But also upstream was harder back then, which also made it difficult. But yeah, there was a point in like June before it was beaten by me, and everyone else beat it eventually. Where we would get runs to like late game, like at least Jaws of Darkness or backtracks even, and something stupid would happen and the run would be dead.
Yeah. Koji took it back later on after he came back out of nowhere, like actually, and got a 104.07, something like
Yeah,
that.
he beat it by quite a lot to show that there was still a lot of room for improvement even at that stage.
And then yours truly, Ted, putting the...
That was scary. Oh my god, that was so scary.
As scary as the
Anyways.
world record.
Oh, I've had too many close calls in this level, dude. Holy. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, in 2019, I came back to this category, and I got the first 103, which actually it was barely a 103. It was actually like 103.59.95 at least, or
something like that. We had to retime it at first.
Yeah, and then I got another 103, and it's been that since April. I've tried a few times to beat it, but not too much. But now that it's 2020, and I'm not so burnt out, I hope to bring it down to a 102, hopefully. Especially now that 39 and 90% happened. Shoutouts to White Paws, the legend.
I mean, you also got a 39, TBH.
Oh yeah, the 3960.
3960.
Yeah, I have a 40 flat, 90%, by the way. It's pretty epic. I'm alright with it now, though.
A 3960 TBH, not a 40 flat.
3960 in our hearts.
But yeah, I'm also gonna try to lower that time at some point. It will be cool. The game has definitely improved in time, like time-wise, a lot since we joined.
Yeah, the game actually improves a lot each and every year, which is pretty cool.
Let's say when Tefton me joined, the record was like, in 80% it was like a 44, mid 44, and then in Hondo it was like a 112.
Yeah, so, 112 in Hondo, think about that with the 103 that I have now.
Yeah, like this time is probably most likely gonna go low. Like the estimate, Teft's estimate is lower than the time. Just think about it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's crazy for sure.
Also, this level is the worst garbage to exist. I don't know.
Yeah, this level is actually really glitchy. I know how to avoid the glitches. There's a box that you can just kind of walk through, but there's a setup to avoid it. And some of the hog cycles are just really hard to time for some reason. Like, you can tell they're not intended to be hard, they're just really glitchy.
This is live. Also, now that like we're doing revisits and stuff, I can probably look at some questions if anyone has some, like in the chat.
Yeah, I can too. Again, I have to turn around to read chat because of the setup in my room. But I did see this is a live run. It's not pre-recorded.
Yeah, thankfully Ted got upstream skip, which is sick. It's actually sick.
It's so nice getting upstream skip and no reset or a marathon just because you don't have to revisit it and your splits are still accurate.
Before the timer. Go ahead.
Because if you don't get upstream skip, you have one less gem go by for most of the levels, which kind of messes up your splits. So it gives you like a false lead as well because you get out of the first upstream visit faster, but you're not actually on PB pace because you didn't get the skip.
Okay, cool questions. Japanese, so essentially you can get a gem earlier, which allows you to do Road to Nowhere in the first visit. Difference with NST a lot. Like they're entirely
Yeah, it's built from the ground up.
Both speedrun wise they're extremely different.
I guess someone in the chat who would be good to answer that is Rico. He's a Crash NST2 legend. He could answer any NST question you have pretty much. So, wonder if he's in the chat right now, he could give some explanations for that. Better than we could, because we've both played NST, just haven't like speedrun it or anything.
Yeah, like this game. So remember how the saving system works, right? You actually don't get the percentage of the levels. Like levels, it's themselves half percent. You would get them if you save from a token, but since we're only getting the gems, you only get the percentage of the gems. Once we collect the last gem, the game will go from 35% to 100% because the last gem is just worth 65%.
My favorite Crash game is this one. Yeah, my second favorite's Wrath of Cortex, and after that, probably Crash 3. I run Crash 3 as well. I'd say, I don't know, I think I could be considered
that is
top
pretty
level
good.
in that.
That is pretty good at Crash 3, but he doesn't need a TBH.
I can do Tomb Raider God Cycle, so I think I'm alright at the game. Feel free to read off any questions, if they're like directed towards me or whatever. Or that we could both answer.
I think a simple question would be, is this your favorite Crash game? But I think I might already know the
Yeah, it's funny, it was one of my least favorites as a kid, but when I played it when I got older, like as a teenager and stuff, I really started to like it. And the speedrunning just it gives me so many more ways to enjoy it.
No, neither Theft or me run the remakes.
No, if I ever did, it would probably be Crash 1 remake, or Crash 3 full completion. Those
So
two
the both of you are fans of the remakes, at least?
Well, myself, I do enjoy watching the runs.
Oh yeah, they're really good. The cool thing about the remake speedruns is that they're different from the originals. It's not like the same movement tech or stuff. They're different. They have they're unique, you know, so you can watch both of them and enjoy them. It's not just like the same thing in better graphics or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I haven't played Nitro Field yet, but that looks like a really fun game. I don't have a PS4, so...
Yeah, Nitro Field is fun. Actually, I enjoyed playing that.
And I enjoyed just playing Insane Trilogy as well. I wasn't one of the people who hated it. I think it's fine.
The cloud section is super sick, TBH.
Yeah, I kind of messed up one of the parts, but that's alright.
It's alright, yeah.
I still got the fall. Blue box strap back up there.
Can't wait for Crash to
very
get
strap.
announced for Smash.
Yeah.
Didn't do the cane.
Oh, what does 100% mean? Getting all the gems, pretty much, which you get gems
essentially.
by breaking all the boxes in a level. In some levels you have to revisit, like the ones I'm doing now, because you need a colored gem, which gives you access to secret areas.
Anyway, now that we're entering the last level of the game, so did you have any suggestions for people, like new runners that want to pick up the game? What can they do?
Yeah, certainly. So, actually, Christmas 2018, I made a video, an intro video to the game explaining some of the fundamentals and where to go, what runs to watch. It is outdated, obviously. So I do want to make a new one at some point, but it's still a good place to start. Another good thing is watching the world records and trying to copy as much as you can. The thing is with Crash is it's with zigzagging and stuff, you won't be good at it right away. Like, it's a pretty difficult thing to master. So there's some things you just won't be able to do, some cycles you won't be able to catch, but just see what you can do, see where you're at, practice, and just play the game, you know what I mean? This is one of those games you just play it, you find out more about it, and you just get better at it. You understand how you can make Crash do pretty much anything you want in the air. And yeah, there's lots of strats, especially if you learn 100% that you can do. 100% will obviously be a lot more daunting to pick up because of the punishing deaths, but I do truly believe that you can pick up either category first.
Yeah, I agree, honestly.
I think 100% definitely has a lot more in it, but 80% is also really good. And 80% has a GDQ run you can watch that's still decently up to date. It's from 2017 by yours truly, White Paws.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, that was boulder skip back there. If you zigzag enough, you don't have to wait for the boulder. You just ride the purple gem.
Yep, and so you'll be able to see the percentage go up from 35 to 100.
Yeah. And again, to explain that again, it's that that's just because we haven't been saving our game. If we were saving our game, it would save the level progress and it would go up as it's supposed to. But because we don't, the game does a check at the end when you get the last gem and it gives you the level progress percentage. So we don't have to do the saving bonus rounds. And this is the last level, the Great Hall, where you get all the gems, you can get the secret ending.
So the secret ending is like, it never gets picked from any of the games, so this is actually a true ending for the series. Core period. Crash 1 is the only game.
Yeah, no more after this, sorry folks. Anyways,
Also,
time will come up when I reach Tana.
Yeah, this is a sick time.
Yeah, what is the time? My timer messed up like a third of the way through.
You both called time at the same time, so it might have been a little behind, but right now I have 7 seconds.
Nice, 107?
Yeah, 107.
Nice, I'll take that for sure.
That's really solid.
Yeah, I'll
Really,
take
really
that.
solid.
I'm really glad. I'm glad I got upstream skip, and any re-entries I had were in, like, they were fair deaths. They weren't nonsense, and they weren't like several deaths in one level. So
Just for the record, this category was run at AGDQ
16, I think.
I don't even remember, 16, I think it was.
Yeah, 16.
And the time there was a 119, so Ted
Yeah.
just beat it.
Progress, yeah.
Yeah, 12
Yeah.
minutes, easy 12 minutes.
Yeah, and going back to the history thing, it shows how much things have changed over time.
For sure. Oh, that was a very impressive run. I was kind of letting the two of you do your thing. Very exciting to watch on my end. But thank you so much, Ted and White Paws, for showing us Crash.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. It really means a lot.
Yeah, it
sure.
actually means so much for the Crash community.
Yeah, especially because me and Paz submitted a race of this to AGDQ 19 because we both went to that one, and it didn't get in, so it's cool that we got to do this.
Aw.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody here, for tuning into the premiere episode of Time Capsule. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the show. I certainly did. And we will continue our journey with more great games of the year 1996 on Tuesday, January 28th in Time Capsule 1996 Volume 2, featuring speedruns that might include a certain plumber, among other things. So until then, don't forget Testing Grounds with Sword Shield starts tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm Smooth Operative signing off, and we will see you again very soon.